It's 2018, and you know what that means. It means you've got big plans. It's a new year. Why not kick off the new year with a new website? No, I don't mean stop going to this website. I mean create a new one for whatever the heck it is you're doing. Your work, your blog, content. You have content, right? Everyone does now. It's 2018. Put your content on a website. Put products on a website. How about services? With just a few clicks, you can customize everything when you use Squarespace. There's nothing to install, patch, or upgrade ever. You just use Squarespace's beautiful templates. They've been created by world-class designers. It's world-class. Look, head over to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, you can use the offer code Bombcast, and you can save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain, okay? Hello.
January the 9th.
Yes.
Hi. Wasn't sure if I was on.
Yeah.
2018. It's the Giant Bombcast.
It is.
Hello. Jeff's
Hello.
here.
Hi.
Jason is here.
Hi.
Matt Rory is here.
Hi, how you doing?
Jan is here.
Hi, guys.
I'm here.
Hello.
Hello.
Welcome to the only podcast on the internet bold enough to talk about video games.
Yes.
That's the only place you can get discussion of interactive entertainment
Exactly.
on the entire
The
World
best
Wide Web.
place.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you might hear it other places, but right
Those-
here,
those
this
people-
is the spot.
those people are faking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is
They're not actually talking about video games. They think they are.
yeah.
But no, we're talking about the real video games.
One day they will.
In
learn.
television,
Mm-hmm.
ColecoVision,
That's right. Commodore.
Commodore Vision,
Yes.
The Vectrex.
Super Cassette Vision.
Mm-hmm. The FM Towns Marty.
That's right. We got a car Marty in here with no car.
the only the realist of video games.
That's right.
How's everybody doing?
Good.
Good.
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt Rory.
Well,
What's up with you?
Good.
You're well.
I'm well.
Yeah?
I'm very well.
You're feeling
Feeling good.
sober.
Just feeling sober.
Detoxed?
Oh, that's right. You-
Dry January.
Dry?
Yeah.
Dry January.
How's it going?
Good. I really want it like a mimosa, like right
Yeah.
now.
I was gonna say, like
go.
you every time it comes up, you say you're doing good, but the number of times it comes up makes me think it's very much
The
not.
thing is, when you do it, like, well, I had to make sure my girlfriend knew, and because if you don't tell anybody, you're
she's
doing,
yeah. Well,
you cheat,
right?
Like, so I don't want to cheat.
You
So
need someone to. Is she doing? Is she not doing it?
She is not. So
Okay.
I'm
Oh,
doing
wow.
because I was
Okay.
one. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the ultimate temptation. Like she can go out.
Of course, yeah. She's like in front of you, just going like, check this out. Yeah.
Oh, so good. This mimosa.
Taking this 40 to the neck. Let's go.
She has driven me around to so many places, and she's had to be responsible.
Oh,
so
yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like I owe her a little bit of time. Like,
Totally.
you can drive, and I'll be the responsible driver. I drove in
true.
the rain yesterday for the first time in fucking forever. So
It's been a motherfucker. I drove back
Has
from Reno in
Yeah.
the rain
No shit.
yesterday.
Wow.
Like snow, it's probably snowing there now, I think. It was like hours away from supposedly starting to snow.
So you didn't get to see the snow?
No.
Reno
no.
gets snow?
Yeah. Reno gets some
Whoa.
snow. Yeah.
Wow.
I thought it was mostly in the passes there.
It is. Yeah. Up over the, kind of over through Tahoe and stuff like that is where it gets real. But they were saying
Real
that there would be
shit.
some snow falling at least.
What were you in Reno
in that
for?
area. Hanging out.
Hanging out. Yeah, me and a friend have wanted to do that for a long time. Like, he's got this really weird idea of going up and seeing like the trashiest casino concert you can find. Like,
Here's the secret. It's all of them. That goal easily met at
Any given time,
Any
like-
place you want to go in Reno is gonna meet
Yeah.
that criteria really well.
Who's the most washed up, recognizable act that you
Oh,
heard about playing in Reno?
well, okay. So I don't know.
Saw advertisements.
Well, maybe not washed up. Maybe that's a little
okay.
strong.
Okay.
Engelbert Humperdinck was gonna be playing.
classic.
Peter Cetera
Sing-
billboards were
No
were definitely
shit.
up.
Oh, the power of love.
Yeah, a little
Okay.
Cetera.
Yeah.
We were in Vegas and we were staying at a casino called the Sunset Station, and the concert. None of these people are washed up necessarily, but it was Queensryche and Skid Row double billed.
Yo, I would go
And
to that.
Man, I would maybe go
It was everybody's really cool. Like a bunch of like 50, 60-year-old people trying to arrange like threesomes in the casino
Hell
bar
yeah.
afterwards. It was
Okay.
interesting. It was fun.
Yeah.
That seems like the type of bill that you would see like on a Tuesday night at the Hard Rock Casino.
This
Not
was
even
a
necessarily
prime
like,
time Friday night.
Okay,
like old
yeah.
people in the casino were
So
complaining.
there you go. It's like either Friday night at a station location or Tuesday at the Hard Rock. I don't know.
Just everybody was having a great time though. I'm never gonna complain about people seeing stuff like I say the word trashy, but You know, forever Peter Cetera, that somebody grew up in the 80s and just like, yeah, I want to see Peter Cetera.
Fucking Ace,
Yeah.
Terra, dog. We got to go.
As long as you're not trying to be disruptive, just go and have a good time and
Yeah.
enjoy the kitsch part of it. But as long as you know people are,
Yeah, I don't know. I had
Just watch
I
your
had
car
a-
keys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I had a pretty good time. We just drove up there. It's like 3.5 hour drive from here.
Yeah.
It's not super bad.
it's like LA to Vegas. kind of.
Yeah. And yeah, we just we went because during the week we had off for Game of the Year stuff, like I spent all that time thinking about Game of the Year stuff,
yeah.
and there was no actual break, so it was like, let's actually just take a weekend and just go somewhere else. So it was nice to do that. I don't know. We just kind of there are only a handful of casinos there, and neither me nor my wife are particularly big gamblers.
Yeah.
So
I
it was-
do it for video poker.
Yeah.
Just like put in $10, get a free beer.
so at some point I was just like, all right, well, let's get out here and see what the fuck is Reno. And so, you end up like, let's go wander around and see what's going on.
Yeah.
Not really a walk in town, unless you're like yelling to yourself about quantum physics and string theory and
It's always
satellites
quantum
and stuff.
physics.
Dude, like I'm not making it up. There was a dude just going like, the satellites, it's goddamn quantum theory. It was like, man, that guy has a firmer grasp on quantum physics than I do. Yeah, I don't know. We ended up in a pawn shop at one point, and I forgot because it's Nevada. Like I was like, oh, maybe they'll have some old video games. And I was like, okay, let's go in there and look. And I forgot it's Nevada. They also have a fucking trillion guns
Oh, shit.
in the pawn shop, and it was just like, wow, that's that's totally an Uzi.
Yeah.
Like just shit you just don't see in California because it's not legal here.
Not a paintball, not an airsoft.
No, not
Actual-
yeah.
Okay.
And most of it was just like, here's a bunch of shotguns. It was just like a bunch of just like whatever.
Your standard shot.
But then there was a couple like fucking submachine guns there, and you're like, man, this is nuts. Like this is big old sign right there. Please, no alcohol on the gun counter.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh,
yeah,
just on the
tables,
counter. Like
just on the counter.
Anywhere
Yeah,
else in the
yeah,
store.
yeah.
It's totally fine.
yeah. I don't know. They had fucking DJ Hero and an Uncharted PS4. Way more Xbox Ones than PS4s at the two pawn shops I looked at, by the way, in case you're looking for like the Reno Index.
yeah.
They had an Xbox One for $160.
Hey.
Probably could have haggled them down way lower than that, honestly.
Yeah, probably.
But
You
yeah.
can have mine for like $100 if you want.
I'm good.
No?
I got like 4 of them.
Launch model?
Yeah.
Nah. What are you going to do with that?
There was an S in there.
Yeah.
But yeah, not a lot of PS4s, a lot of PS3s. But only Slims and Super Slims, like
Okay.
the second and third models. I didn't see any like launch fat ones.
People are hoarding those backwards compatible ones.
Right. Yeah.
I'm hoarding mine. Sitting
Yeah.
on a launch
That's
model.
right. You're ready to be backwards compatible at a moment's notice.
Yeah. I just got to get
Something-
mine fixed first.
I tried to repair mine with an iReview. I fixed
I
the
fixed
kit.
it.
I want to say, and it did not go well.
Is it like the yellow light thing that they would get?
Mine was
Yeah.
really overheating. You had to replace the thermal pads, and it seemed like it went fine, but it still did not work. So
Yeah.
That's a shame.
we can do. But no, the game of the year stuff. You said you needed a weekend off. Like, yeah, it's weird for having like a week solid off. You don't really take.
Yeah, it's hard to get away from.
It ends up being responsibilities every single morning, so you can't fully just fuck off for
Yeah.
like 3 days and do whatever.
No matter
It's
what
like,
you wish.
no, I got to be here at 10 a.m. and make sure this shit publishes properly and make sure the promo stuff and
Or if there's like spelling errors in the lower thirds or something, maybe you might have to come into the office and
Yeah,
re-render some.
that's never happened,
some
thankfully.
videos.
yeah, I don't know. That's,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't know what you're talking
Hypothetically
about.
Yeah.
speaking, that could happen.
Yeah.
And that
Someday.
might disrupt your break.
Then it ends up being like a dumb thing where like everything went fine on the publishing and promo end. Like
This year was pretty smooth.
yeah, the back end stuff went a-okay. So it was really me waking up and looking at it and going like, this is fine.
All
I could've-
credit
I
to
could've
the.
stayed asleep.
We don't always call out our engineering team, but I really think our engineering team is better. Than,
I
like,
love them.
We started I started here like 4 years ago. I really think it's stronger now than it has been the entire.
Yeah.
time. Like we went through some rough
Definitely.
times, but Will and all the people over there are really
1,000%.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's running the tight ship
new
over
search.
there.
New search went
Yeah.
up yesterday. If you're
Fancy new drop down.
tried out
Yeah.
some little issues with some people not being able to do autocomplete. I think that's
weird.
related to Akamai, like not freshening their cache, but that should be gone soon. But should be a lot quicker and a lot more relevant.
Yeah, it definitely seems faster, and I think it also fixed the thing where when you search for games, sometimes the year under it would be wrong.
Yeah.
I think that is
Yeah.
fixed.
Yeah.
But also relevancy should be a lot stronger now. Like you'd search for like Origins, and AC Origins would be like on the 5th page. But
Yeah.
now that should be the most. So popularity should count a lot stronger for what you.
Yeah,
get back.
there's some
That was Steve Easley, by the way,
Yeah.
one of our engineers.
There's some stuff in there that like I was fucking around with it more yesterday, and I was like, I found like 3 things where I'm like, it's just,
but it was so much better than it was.
dude, it is night and day better.
I'm waiting for Comic Find to go live because Comic Find has way weirder search issues than
I
imagine
bet,
how many different. You know, X-Men, there's been comic books called X-Men that they reboot and go back to number 1 like 18 times. Like that kind of stuff is really complicated.
Well, in some ways, like, so we've you know, with the wiki and stuff like that on the site, like we've made concessions because of the quality of search in some cases, where because that second line of text was like rarely accurate or didn't refresh when changes got made, you do things like, oh, even though these were like, Tetris is always the example I use of like there are 1,000 different versions of Tetris by different developers. They're technically different games, even though they're all Tetris.
Yeah.
They should probably all be broken out onto their own page by like, okay, these are the ones developed by Spectrum Holobyte for the SNES, for like this you know, narrow band of consoles where they had the license. Then Sega got it. Then Ubisoft, you know, whoever. We probably need to split all those apart. And now that search is better, we can start to do stuff like that.
Cool.
We've been talking about search for goddamn years, so thank God it finally became. So it just reminded me that the community game of the year data I need to get because that was a big thing where like I think was it Horizon that had like a 2016 drop down and people were confused about it. There's a lot of stuff like that. So, but I need to that data we ended. If you're hearing this now, too late to vote on community game of the year, but the data is all in. I just need to get that from Will and make that. I'll try to do that today or tomorrow.
Cool.
Probably tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and say.
Yeah.
Who took it?
Yeah, check it out. Take a look. I have no idea. I haven't looked at the data at all yet. So
Yeah, and then up next we got, you know, like there's gonna be some big wiki changes.
Yeah.
and
the header's gonna change at some point too.
they got printouts of site redesign stuff over on the whiteboard over there.
What do they call them?
Mock-ups,
Wireframes.
Wireframes.
Yeah,
Not hip to all the current design lingo.
Yeah,
Bay Area designers.
Stuff
That's
is
right.
changing
That's been around a while.
for the better. I mean, like I said, I think our engineers are
Super solid.
they're really dedicated to the site too. Like it has always been time where, you know, one site we have 3 main sites here now. We used to have what was the other one?
there was the esports thing.
esports site and
Yeah.
some other stuff.
What's
but,
there? I didn't even know
yeah.
about it.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
there was an esports site
Oh,
built
no.
on
I'm sorry.
the same platform. It wasn't ours, like we didn't have to
Yeah.
touch it, but
Yeah.
it was just I don't know.
Wow, I didn't.
There's a lot of resources.
Yeah.
But yeah, we have engineers doing a really good job.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
It's going
yeah.
to be a fun few months of the start of the year. You're going to see some weird
Solid stuff.
Yeah.
I also want to point out as an aside that I don't think Spectrum Holobyte gets enough credit as far as cool developer names go.
Yeah, no, they were good. I went to their office multiple times. I knew people
Really?
who worked there, and
Wow.
yeah. That dude, the dude that founded Gilman Louie, who was like the founder of that company, or he was a founder, or he was the head of it. I'm not sure which, maybe both. But like, dude has a security clearance. Like,
Whoa.
dude is like on like post Spectrum Holobyte, is my understanding. Is went on to some other stuff.
Interesting. Does that mean he knows what a holobyte is?
Yeah, probably.
What is that?
Well, you know, at some point, if you're publishing Falcon 4.0 for that many years,
right,
like you might as well just go into
yeah.
jets, right? I don't.
Jeez,
I have,
right.
I have no idea what that guy actually went on to
Oh
do.
wow, I totally
honestly,
forgot
but-
about the flight sim
Yeah.
stuff.
Man,
now
I
the clearance makes
if there's
total
actually
sense.
if there actually is a connection there, I don't know, but
I just
but
missed
yeah.
the goddamn manuals for the Falcon game.
Yeah, the phone book?
Dude.
Oh, it's
that
huge.
thing. If you wanted to murder someone with a video game, some real video game violence, the manuals for Falcon games were your best bet.
Like, if you haven't seen these things, look them up. They're ring binders, like 3 ring binders,
Yeah.
at just like hundreds of pages.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
Yep.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
indeed.
They also published WordTrist for the SNES.
Oh wow, what
You know,
is that good? I've never played
Faceball.
that.
Yeah, sure.
How do
I
you-
mean,
is it just a like make
it's
words.
it's
with
letter
Tetris
tiles
pieces?
drop into
Yeah.
a well,
Yeah.
like a Tetris style game,
you
and then
have to
when
make
words are
words?
spelled, they disappear from the pit.
That sounds really fun.
And then occasionally you get a blank space like a Scrabble piece, and then when that one appears, there's a noise that goes with it.
Does that have 2-player?
Uh,
We should play that.
I don't know.
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
I would try
two-player word trust would be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should. I mean, the dictionary probably needs updating. I'm surprised, like, you know, with all the Words with Friends and all the other word games and shit like that, that maybe there hasn't been like a word tryst resurgence. But I don't even know who would own that.
It's a new year.
New year,
Yeah.
new word tryst.
Yeah, that's right.
Word tryst 2018. Where they call it 2019. They want to future-proof it.
I don't think you need licenses on the internet anymore, do you? Like, especially on the App Store, just put out whatever, right?
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Word tryst battlegrounds.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
Fucking 100 letters fall into a well.
featuring Cuphead.
Yeah.
Just throw it up at the App Store right now.
Yeah.
Who's got a modern video game they would or an old game, whatever. Who's been playing what?
I'm in kind of a lull right now. So I've got a lot on the horizon. Like, I'm really interested in Street Fighter Arcade Edition. Sounds like they're making some smart changes with that. Monster Hunter's coming out soon.
You're just biding your time for these games.
Kind of, yeah. So I'm trying not to get too invested in anything. So I'm revisiting some old stuff. So I'm playing more Neo for the hell of it, and just bopping around to stuff. I don't want to, I
don't want to commit to anything.
Yeah, I picked up
You're saving
Yakuza
yourself.
0, but I know that I would get super into that game,
Yeah.
so I'm gonna hold off on that guy and probably forget about it for another year.
You've got a purity ring for Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I do. I know it's gonna be an investment. Yeah, for sure.
I was really bummed they announced the Steam version wasn't coming out until August.
I
autumn.
thought the PC version might be day and date.
No, it's autumn now.
I feel like Capcom stuff is rarely
day
and date when it comes to.
As long as it's good, you know.
I guess the fighting stuff has been.
For the most, not everything, but they're having the same team work on it from what I had gather, but they're going to be focused on that once they're kind of finished with the PS4 and Xbox version. So it won't be like an outside team working on it. So it should be a good port. Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
But that's going to be a while. I'm sure I'm going to pick it up on the PC as well. And
by the time that comes out, you'll probably be done with the console version anyway and be ready to start over.
Yeah,
I'm not sure Monster Hunter's
And
ever
done is a weird term.
The last one I remember playing of Capcom on the PC was Dragon's Dogma. Dark Arisen, which came out surprise release 3 years later. So
that was the thing where multiple people at Capcom told us we've got a build of the PC version that we play all the time that they use for development. That was not ever really meant for release, and it's just what the fuck is going on?
It actually works pretty well. A lot of people play it. It's really good. I want to get back in. I've been threatening to play the end of that game on a stream at some point. I want to get back through my problem with Dragon's Dogma is that I always get paranoid about making the right character because there are build guides for level 200. You need to be 10 levels in this, then 30 levels in this in order to get the max stats at the end. But just learn to live with it.
Yeah, that's like a second playthrough thing. That's a third playthrough thing. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. I've been playing Sniper Elite 4 a little bit. I bought that on sale, Steam sale.
What
Sniper,
is it?
Sniper Elite 4.
Sniper Elite 4.
you've got
heard really good stuff
shooting
about
people in the balls.
Got a really steady aim now with this newfound.
I also have, the Elite controller too helps a bunch. I've been playing that. It's one of those games. I played a fair amount of Sniper Elite 3, and then I started this up because it was on sale. I enjoy the way those games play. But
that's the one with the crazy Mortal Kombat X-ray kills.
Shooting people in the balls and the heart and everything.
And
this
is all it's all still World War II stuff,
this
right?
This is Italy now. Okay. And I think they can make it any time era they want, but they just have
nothing about the words Sniper Elite necessarily says a time period. So
I've been popping into that, and what you do basically is you go in and kill 3 dudes and then quit and come back. It's a 20-minute. It's a 20-minute game because there's a lot of waiting. They hear your shot, they know where you are, so you go hide in a bush somewhere. So been popping in and out of that. I played a bunch of that Planetary Annihilation game over the weekend too, Titans. It does not have a very good story mode, which is kind of the bummer for me. I don't really play a lot of RTSs online or multiplayer or anything like that. And I was about to build the super weapon and fire it off, and then I had an AI helper that killed the enemy commander for me. And that was a real bummer.
How long did it take to build that super weapon?
Not too bad because you can increase the speed really fast. So, but
still,
it
what
seems
a bummer.
like a technical.
They stole that from you.
I know. I got to go back and do a skirmish mode or something to try it out. Apart from that, I'm just playing a bunch of WoW. I've been I didn't play a lot of WoW at all in 2017. At the end of the year, especially because there's so much stuff coming out. But right now, I'm kind of getting prepped for the next expansion.
Do you play Hearthstone at all?
I do not.
No,
I played Hearthstone.
Kobolds and
I might have done the quick look for that, but
what's that new expansion?
Kobolds and Dungeons,
something like that. That seems kind of cool. They've got some single player stuff.
I don't want to pay a huge amount of attention to it. I hear a lot of people are complaining a lot more about getting all the cards. You really need to spend a shitload of money now to get tournament worthy decks. It's the scuttlebutt that I've heard.
Well, don't they have a new mode now? It may have been around a while.
They have a draft mode. I know you can just
but only the most 2 recent expansions or something like that, or tournament legal.
I think they have the tournament mode, and then there's Wild.
Sure,
is how they ended up breaking it up.
It's the same thing with Magic. Magic does the same
thing. WWE Supercard did the same thing.
Ozzy Del Rio.
Yeah, it's only good in the Wild mode now because it's such an old card. I can't really. I don't know. I have no idea what they're doing with that thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm playing.
Yeah, I'm sure you'll be back for that new WoW expansion.
Oh yeah, totally.
You think you'll mess with the classic stuff too?
I don't. I doubt it. I mean, the classic stuff is I read this description of somebody going back and playing for like 6 hours and getting to level 11 or something like that on somewhere, and it's tough.
Like I saw people who were excited about this classic stuff talking about like, oh, I can't wait to have to ride my mount all the way across the world again. I want to feel like I'm traveling again, and I'm like, I don't know.
The social stuff and the old world stuff where you had to really fight to form a group. Like I remember just Karazhan, I think it was the one in down in the desert. Not Karazhan, it was Zul'Farrak or Zulaman. One of those the ones in the desert, way down in the
south of Stranglethorn,
south of Kalimdor.
Okay,
and it was like
Shimmering Flats.
You would have to like get 5 people in there, and by the time you got it was like 2 hours to get a group together. And by the time you got there, somebody would be a dick and like pull the entire thing, and you have to quit and get a new guy. That stuff. The ease of use in today's WoW is a lot better than it used to be. So I don't think I'd have a hard time going back. I really hope people enjoy it though when they do release it.
Yeah, like the announcement. And even just like the stuff before that of private server WoW and stuff like that, it always sounds really great as someone who only played like the first, year and a half of WoW or whatever. There's that thing of like, oh, that's my World of Warcraft. Yeah. Like that's the one I remember. Like that's the one I could wrap my mind around. Maybe I could get back into that. But then the reality of it, of just like, I'm not going to actually invest the time to do that. Like I'm just not going to do that. I mean, I would quit for the same reasons I quit the first time of just like, well, I can't really solo this stuff anymore. Yeah. And all my friends leveled past me because they play a few more hours a week than I do. So fuck this, I guess.
Like when Naxxramas came out, I don't think anybody beat that dungeon for like 6 months. And it was like 2 hours of finding herbs every day to get the potions you needed to go to the raid again. That kind of stuff doesn't really interest me. But people who do, I'm shocked. I'm honestly shocked Blizzard is actually going through this. The amount of customer service that alone would be such an investment in terms of like, well, this isn't exactly how I remember it. What are you going to do? The neediness and whininess of that fan base, especially the people who want to have that vanilla. Like, why isn't this like Nostralius or whatever?
Well, especially because now they're competing, by launching this, they are more directly competing with custom servers that people are just running of their own, and the legality of that is, up in the air or not, or maybe not. But yeah, like the alternative for people is like, well, I don't like your vanilla World of Warcraft. I'll go run my own. Like,
the community manager side of things over at Blizzard, I would be really, really worried if I was one of their CMs and had to deal with those forums, because it's going to be not, I say neediness and whininess, but there are people who have very strong opinions about what that game should be, and they're gonna, if it's like a 2004 graphical era. That kind of stuff. If it's straight out of 2004,
they're not going to go that far back.
Where do they draw that line between what they want? Are they going to allow new add-ons?
Yeah,
for it?
like figuring out what the good parts of old WoW are and what are the parts you need to leave behind is probably
when they release that. We will definitely have to take a look at that some thing on the site. But that's probably farther into the year, maybe even next year. I don't know.
I feel like if they were going to do that, they should just go all the way. And just be like, here it is, version, and just like it's
1.0.
There you go. We are going to update it at the same frequency that we updated it originally. It's just a fucking Facebook member. 7 years ago, you did that. Like it's just going to be, it's the Twitter account of World War II in real time. Yeah. Except it's fucking World War Warcraft server updates.
It's a big deal. I mean, and is there going to be a separate subscription for it? They're going to pay another $12 a month for that? I don't know.
Oh, no way.
I haven't looked into all this stuff.
I would have to imagine that it would just be like, hey, if you're signed up to play World of Warcraft, you can play this too.
It's a lot of. We'll see when it comes out. I'm really curious about it. I don't want to play it, but
the thing I like, and keep in mind, like I say that this is what I would want, but the reality, when I'm honest with myself, is that I don't actually want any of it.
You don't want to play WoW.
But the reality, like the thing I tell myself I want would be like, I want to take my original installation CDs and use that to play vanilla WoW.
Somewhere.
What you actually want is to feel the way you felt in 200004 about it.
That's never going to happen.
Which is never going to happen with any World of Warcraft anything. It's going to take a new game that that is the shift that World of Warcraft was. Yeah. Player Unknown's Battlegrounds.
100 Tauren parachute.
I feel bad for bringing up WoW again. Let's talk about it.
That's okay. I don't know. I mean, I
kind of
hear,
cliche with me.
I hear from a handful of people how good the last expansion was, like all the time.
Pretty fun.
People seem pretty stoked about the new stuff coming out.
I'm trying to stream. Maybe I'll stream the new LFRs at some point. I think I did a couple during Extra Life, but it goes places in the end. There's a dude who, spoilers for the end of the new expansion of World of Warcraft. You basically take the soul Titan out of a planet. You're like sucking him out, and as he gets sucked out, he stabs Azeroth with a fucking sword.
He stabs the planet
from space.
Huh.
It's like
That's
the
some
size.
fucking
That's
Asura's Wrath type
stuff.
shit.
Yeah.
I think I streamed. Actually, I streamed the cinematic. It is worth checking out if you have the time.
Oh,
to
is
look
that
it up.
like a CG movie?
Argus? No, it's all in engine.
How does that stuff look? Because
They've been doing really good work. Look up
Huh.
the intro cinematic for or the end of the first scenario in the new expansion is where King Ren dies.
Because my memory of the in-engine stuff, like the animation and
gotten
character
old,
interactions, was pretty
They've
rudimentary.
gotten to a middle. It's not near CGI, but they've upgraded the character models for the cinematic stuff, and it's really well done. They have really good cinematic artists, and I think they've redone their framework to make it kind of easier to make those movies without going full CGI. They're really well done. As a Warcraft fan, I don't know anything about lore or anything like that, but look up King Ren dies on YouTube's spoiler. Sorry, it's a really well done cinematic. They're really good. I'm looking forward to the new expansion too, but that's probably not till October.
Oh, really? Oh, well.
I assume. Usually 2 years.
Did they announce it at last BlizzCon?
Pirate
Totally,
themed.
Okay.
Pirates, because that's cool
Is it
now.
just-
Finally.
is it just like fucking Van Cleef all day long?
I think.
Okay.
No,
he
I think
finally launched that ship.
Yeah.
Finally got it out of the cave.
it sounds like you're going to be able to join a different faction of pirates, and I think those might be Horde Alliance agnostic. Like you can maybe be teaming up with people in the Horde. I haven't really looked into a huge amount, but I know it sounds like you're going to be joining a pirate faction. I mean,
pirates are fucking lawless, right? It would make
Yeah.
sense that you abandon your faction.
Yeah.
and just
I'm
do
kind of
whatever.
over pirate stuff at this point in games. I'm already like from last E3, I was like, oh, pirates again, but
Also, isn't Van Cleef like dead in the
Yeah,
in
it's
the
his daughter.
continuity?
He was a
like
ghost
his
in
daughter.
his
His daughter is running the Defias Brotherhood
What?
now.
Oh shit.
he was
Maybe we
mad
should get back
that
in the well.
he rebuilt Stormwind and they couldn't afford to pay him, so he went off to the Dead Mines, and then his daughter did take it over. So I don't know where that storyline is now.
It's all a blur.
That was a long time ago.
That was a long time.
That was Cataclysm.
That was just, let's not think
I
about
mean, that was
I-
original.
I had-
OG.
long ago.
I was gonna say, yeah.
that was.
Oh, boy.
Jeff, you managed to play anything in between Jaunt's?
No, man.
Gambling town.
No,
From the jacuzzi, did you play anything?
Yeah. No.
Did you take your Switch?
No.
Okay,
Absolutely not.
Probably a good move.
No. I wouldn't even know what to play. I am not currently playing any Switch games. I finished Odyssey and yeah.
How did you finish it? Like,
No.
my girlfriend's been going through it, and I've been kind of.
I rolled credits on it. And
Yeah.
I was like, I could go get some more stuff,
Wow,
or I could not.
Did you literally stop there?
Wow.
I played like
That's-
another half
wow,
hour,
that's,
and
that's actually less than I played,
Yeah.
and I didn't play that
And-
much after the credits.
I felt satisfied
Yeah.
with it. You know, not particularly difficult. You know, I understand like all the hard shit is at the end, as they've done with the last few Mario games.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't love that structure.
It's weird.
yeah.
I don't know. It's they could maybe space some stuff out a little bit better and make it kind of a little more even. But I don't really have too much of a problem with it. There's enough. There's enough new worlds and shit like that post credits that I think they at least justify it here.
Sure.
Better than they have in some of their past games.
There are actual like new places to go, not just like dark versions of.
Well, yeah.
I-
There's new stuff to see. at
I got
least.
New Donk City and I stopped, so I don't really know what's.
I guess I don't know. For me, getting that moon count up was just not inherently very satisfying.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, there's
Yeah.
there's
like me and-
500 more of these, but this number is just going to keep
Well,
going up. And
you
that's kind
at
of
least see like there's a path of like, okay, there's new meaningful shit to unlock, and so getting another 40 is probably A, not that hard, and B, like relevant.
It's like me and Zelda and Shrines. Like I stopped like halfway through. Just like, okay, I can get more hearts, but I don't really need them.
I pop it in if I need that quick hit. Moons come fast and furious in that game.
Just
so
want to check out that dog wearing that hat for a few minutes.
Yeah, why not? Hop in there and get a moon, feel
Team's
good
there
about
for it.
myself, and
Talk to Uncle Amiibo for a little bit.
Yep.
yeah.
He knows what's up.
And then bounce. Yeah.
Uncle Amiibo knows the score.
No, I don't know. In addition to just like looking at pawn shops for used games, I ended up in an actual used game store out
in
there
Reno?
in Reno.
Oh,
yeah. And looked around at some of their stuff. I keep going into used game stores and looking for, and it's I'm not even necessarily. I don't even know what I'm looking for at this point. Like
Yeah.
I don't. I'm not
You'll
looking.
know it. You'll know it when you find it.
Yeah, that's actually true. Because you walk in there and it's like, oh, you've got a whole lot of PS2 sports games in here. Great.
Sure.
What's the best thing you've ever found in a pawn shop? Like,
I don't know. Like
yeah.
it's
you find more stuff at like video game conventions.
You don't
Right.
really go thrifting the way that a Peter Brown.
I don't no, and so most of the places I'm going to are like, we've got that Call of Duty here used for you. It's stuff like that. It's not even really. This place had like some Sega CD stuff and all that, but I find myself like the questions I end up asking are, how often do you see TurboGrafx CD games in here, and how much Neo Geo stuff do you see? Mostly out of curiosity because they never have any of it.
Do you ever get young kids that are like, what?
Yes.
I know I've encountered those.
Yeah.
Those folks.
Yeah, but then they'd have to turn to someone else and go, "Hey, it's some old man is here."
He's saying words. I think they're video games.
I don't know. It's I don't know. This place, they had like Lynx game. They actually had a pretty good selection of older shit in the back.
I'm always on the lookout for good accessories. Controllers in particular, I've got a fondness for whatever reason. It's harder to find old arcade sticks, for sure. But
bulky
just like,
to collect though, right? I mean,
do you
have like a box of them somewhere?
I do actually. Yeah.
Speaking of sticks,
what's up?
did you get those buttons?
No, I
didn't get the buttons.
No, I
Did
didn't
the
get
buttons ever go up for sale and then sell out? Is that what happened?
I don't know.
Okay.
I felt bad because the last batch of matte buttons that I bought, I still haven't put in a stick yet.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, I should maybe not do this right
You're
now.
you're buttoned up.
Yeah,
That's what you're saying.
I'm buttoned up.
Cool.
Yeah. So it was cool.
Yeah.
Get out there and look at
Old
some
shit.
Sega CD
stuff.
games for it's always like slightly higher prices than I feel like I would feel great about paying.
Yeah.
Because they have to keep the lights on in a store.
Sure.
So they've got to do what they got to do.
I found that a lot of old stores have some sort of hook that like they've got a bunch of arcade machines in there that they charge people to play and stuff, and like they still need something to draw people in to spend money.
Right, because shelves full of PS3 games for $8 a piece or whatever, and it's just like, we got more copies of Red Dead.
Yeah, like they'll have like a side business, like they'll do like Friday Night Magic or something.
Or
like
exactly.
that.
I was about to say like it's definitely cards.
Not at a pawn shop, but at like a used game store or something like that.
We ended up rolling through a mall while we were there, and there was a like a game and hobby store that had a ton of tables set up for card games and all other stuff, and then on the far end of that were some arcade machines. So I'm in there, I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna go look and see what that stuff is. And as they get closer, I'm like, these machines look too nice. What the fuck's going on? Like it's a Neo Geo looking cabinet. It's a Street Fighter. I get a little bit closer. It's like that marquee seems wider than it should be. Get a little bit closer. It's like, why is there a 16:9 flat screen monitor in the Street Fighter cabinet? Get a little bit closer. Oh, these are all personal computers inside like weird too clean / fake arcade cabinets.
Yeah.
Like I couldn't even tell, like I didn't spend a ton of time looking at it, but it was like, this is maybe the nicest looking Space Invaders machine I've ever seen.
Right.
And then you look at it a little longer, you're like, this is
not
LCD flat screen inside this Space Invaders cabinet. I feel filthy looking at this thing.
They've got like one of those Pandora
they had
the
MVS, like it was a Neo Geo MVS looking cabinet, but with a Pandora's Box 4 in it. And
I've been looking
all
at
these new
those.
coin mechs. Just the whole thing just looked like it was just unsettling to stare at for long periods of time. I don't know.
It's kind of gross to my sensibilities. Like it being like an arcade fan, like just seeing all of those in one fucking cartridge, and
well,
I don't know how
like,
I feel about
like a lot of MVS, like when you go to arcades these days and they do have an actual MVS, like a lot of times they've got that multi-card in there.
Sure.
Which at least it's real MVS hardware at that point. I don't know. I go back and forth because like I, had a Street Fighter cabinet with the monitor that had the monitor die, and my first thought was like, well, I guess I could get an LCD in this thing, and then just hook. I mean, a real arcade board up to it, not anything too untoward, but at the same time, I was like, that doesn't feel right either. I don't know. You got to make tough choices with arcade shit.
Seriously.
It's probably going to get tougher over time, right?
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen when all the CRTs are dead?
Well,
like that day has to come,
You can
right?
kind of move to LCDs, and it's not going to be the same, but it's going to still be, the real boards running
at least
it.
running off the real hardware.
I think that's the thing that where my line is, where I think like, man, why are we even doing this? Is when you start just putting PCs into arcade cabinets, or like these Pandora's box things that are just like gigantic fake multi-cart type things for arcade games, where basically I think those Pandora's box things are just like stolen MAME hacked source code type stuff.
I wouldn't doubt it.
Like MAME's open source, but that it's probably just like busted up versions of MAME and shit running in all these cabinets. I went to an arcade that I felt was like a pretty legit spot, and then went to their, like, they had a Laserdisc. They had like a Dragon's Lair 2 machine or something. I get a little bit closer, and it was just a Windows desktop with like elements of Daphne, the Laserdisc emulator, running in the background. And you're like, oh, well, what the? I still have to put quarters in it. Like, that's the point where it's like, if you're going to all these lengths, I refuse to put quarters in this machine.
Probably.
How much were they charging?
Like maybe not $1, but more than a quarter.
Yeah.
I went to a spot last time I was in Las Vegas, and they had a sit-down Star Trek cabinet. You know, the vector graphics Star Trek game.
Oh, I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's a vector game. You kind of just Klingons try to blow up the star bases. You try to blow them up before they blow up the star bases.
That's right. That's what
and
you
then
do.
It's level 2, level 3. It's just that over and over again.
Yeah.
And it's a vector graphics game. You primarily stare at the radar in the corner, not even the first-person view you get. And you know it's real basic. But it has a sit-down cabinet where you've got like a spinner control in your hand there, kind of sitting on this chair, and you kind of
like
spread out.
Captain's chair?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, oh man, I don't think I've ever seen one of these sit-down cabinets. That's rad. And I sit down in it and start putting quarters in it and look up, and it's like a MAME interface launching. And I was like, man, fuck. Like
They gotta hide it. They gotta hide it better, man.
Yeah.
Something.
Well, seeing a vector game running on a non-vector monitor is pretty key. You're just like, okay,
That seems
I see you.
I'm not sure I understand why that's the corner they decide to cut, because if you've already got the machine there, like running the real board.
Well, a vector monitor is fucking hard.
Yeah.
For as hard as regular monitors are, like, you know, vector monitors are probably even harder, I guess.
But on the emulation end, it's like if you've already got this full size cabinet.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe just get the real board and put it in there. I don't know.
But you know, then you're maintaining a vector monitor, and maybe that's difficult,
Yeah.
and all that sort of stuff.
Vector monitors?
They don't make CRTs anymore. It's so yeah, probably not. Yeah, I don't know. That stuff's but those are the lines that I always draw in my head of just like, if I'm going into an establishment that wants me to put quarters in machines, and you've just got the same PC in there that I've got at my house, then it's like, why would I pay you money to play that?
There's still the novelty of it. I remember going to like a Super Bowl like watching party in like Chinatown, and they had like a Pandora's box kind of situation. I'm like, there's 8 different versions of Street Fighter, like Rainbow Edition.
Totally.
I'll pop you a few quarters. Here you go.
I've got those on
Same.
a computer at home. It's like but the Pandora thing is like especially weird because those things normally get sold as, or I guess lately they more frequently seem to be getting sold as
Like
controller,
an all-in-one unit.
Yeah, it's just like here's a control panel with 2 joysticks and 6-button setups on each side.
Yep.
That has just HDMI out or something like that.
Or VGA
Or
as well.
yeah.
And,
And
you've got everything you need.
The chips are inside the controller boxes?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, well, it's like it's practically a Raspberry Pi at that point. You
right.
know, it's not even. It's just like here's this self-contained arcade emulator with the ROMs and everything all installed. Plug it in and go.
What makes that different from some kind of MAME setup? What is the Pandora's box
similar.
aspect of it?
It is. That's
They've
just
got-
the brand name.
Oh, okay.
They've
and
got their
it's
own
a commercial
UI.
thing?
It's a commercial
Oh,
thing
okay.
that like you can go on. You know, all the sites that'll sell you fake shoes.
Yeah.
Out of China
I
will
see.
also happily ship you these units for $80 to $100 a pop.
Do they just sell it with the games right on there?
Yep.
Yeah.
You don't even have to go download the ROMs? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Now they're trying
And it's
to
got
sell
all
it,
this custom front end and all this other stuff, and yeah, it's shady as shit.
It's shady as shit, but it's like it's $300 for like a fucking dual arcade setup.
Yo, man, if you're paying $300 for those things, like I got some websites.
I'm trying not to advertise for sure, but
yeah, if you're gonna get ripped off by buying weird bootleg arcade stuff, at least pay the lowest price possible.
I made my own, so I got like
Yeah,
the
well,
Raspberry
right,
Pi
right,
at home.
yeah, at that point,
and then I've got a bunch of arcade sticks that I can just put that Raspberry Pi in. You just drill a hole for the HDMI out and for the power, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about setting up a light gun on a PC at home.
Hey, how hard is that?
Well, it's technically not the same tech because you're hooking up a sensor bar basically too.
Okay.
And then calibrating it to the screen. But
Let's
you
read this.
can, they sell like USB guns for PCs that have like Time Crisis style recoil on them.
That's cool.
I was reading this book about Tetris, and it starts off with this whole history of Nintendo. And I guess the light gun stuff started off in arcades with like FMV, like real. They recorded people who look like old Western cowboys, and you would shoot them in arcades with like hundreds of people went to them, and that's how they got the idea for bringing it home.
Yeah, like was
cool.
it like the original Wild Gunman is like that, right?
Yeah, I think Nintendo was making that. It was
Yeah.
just a weird. Some book I found on the. You ever go over to that mailbox over here and just look at what people are just leaving for anybody to take?
There was a videogames.com mug up there that I kept meaning to grab, but I never did.
So I found this like illustrated graphic novel about the history of Tetris.
Right, yeah, I've seen that.
I forget,
Cool.
I
It's
forget who
neat.
it's by, but
Yeah.
it's really cool. And it started talking about the light gun stuff. I never really understood how light guns work on CRTs. I get the sensor bar is probably a little easier, but when I was 6 when the NES came out or 7. That was like magic. Holy shit.
Well, did you ever see like kind of even just like probably around that same time of Nintendo doing that stuff? Like it was like these big like size of this room type setups of like, here's a squirrel and a fucking bear, like all this like real world stuff with tiny targets on it.
Oh, sure.
And you would pick up a thing that looked like a BB gun, but it was just shooting light.
No shit.
And if you shot the sensor on the squirrel, it would fall over.
Back, yeah.
But
they would have those like at amusement parks and stuff.
Yeah, but like the arcades that I went to growing up, like some of them would have one of those off in a corner because what the fuck are you gonna do with it?
Yeah.
And some of that stuff was fun because you would shoot things and then it would break apart, but it would be fake.
Yeah,
it'd be like, here's a bottle breaking apart into 5 pieces, and at the end of the game, the strings would contract and shit like that.
But what kind of games support light guns at home? Like, is there a retail box you can buy this thing at, or what are you talking about setting up at home?
I'm talking about like playing Time Crisis
But I mean, like, what kind of retail is there? Somebody selling a kit of light gun kit for home PCs?
Yeah. It's just a USB controller like anything else. You're kind of almost configuring it in mouse mode, and then calibrating it with the sensor bar, and then hooking it up to an emulator that is running an arcade game. And
is it accurate? Like, I wouldn't figure.
Yeah, because if you calibrate it right, absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah.
What kind of sensor bar?
Yeah,
would you
that's
need?
my
Anything?
question.
It comes with it. It's like,
with it?
but it's my loose understanding of looking at it is like it's probably not too far off from like a Wii remote
stuff,
type setup.
Okay. Yeah.
And at that point, like you
burn
actually
a couple candles in the corner.
right, you could just get like a Bluetooth thing for your PC and a Wii sensor bar and configure it all that way too. And just use a Wii controller to do it.
Yeah, I'm sure.
If you really wanted to. Or I guess actually you can use the fucking Wii gun and all that other dumb shit if you really want to.
I got my Link's crossbow training at the ready.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got that
thing out.
new one. I never made it out of the box.
Really?
From Link's crossbow training.
That
Never
thing's-
really felt the need to
That's an okay piece of plastic.
as the pieces of plastic for the Wii Go.
Right.
It
What
is
are-
one of the better
What are the top 5 arcade shooters?
Top, like light gun games?
What are
Time
what are the
Crisis
light
2.
gun games of note?
Yeah, Time Crisis 2,
Time Crisis 2,
Virtual Cop
Virtual
2.
Cop 2.
I like me some House of the Dead too.
Yeah.
Anything with
yeah.
I never liked the Terminator or the Jurassic Park, like the ones you sit down kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I never dug those.
What about
but-
like the
you guys
Terminator 2 game is like I feel like
Yeah, I was
pretty
gonna say like you
iconic.
guys are going for the more mid late 90s 3D stuff. I like
Yeah.
I like the early 90s like
like a little
digitized.
Operation Wolf or so
sure, that too.
you're Revolution X Man is what
Yeah,
you're saying.
well, I've never
Okay,
I don't know if I ever
I
played
see.
Revolution X.
Music is the weapon in that game.
I hear that's the case. But yeah, like I like the Terminator game and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
we were in Vegas.
Lethal
And-
Enforcers.
Yeah, it's not bad. We were in Vegas and we found a Time Crisis 3 cabinet. Me and my girlfriend. I decided, you have to stand up and play. I didn't realize how weak I had become until you try to hold that fucking gun up for like half an hour.
And then
straight.
suddenly
It's-
your elbow just sinks into your chest a little bit, and you're like, let's switch hands for a while.
I need to work out a little bit more. Apparently,
Yeah.
my atrophying muscles.
Well, you need to get into, was it Crisis Zone? Was that the one that had the machine gun
I don't think-
controller
that's the
instead of
one
the
with-
I
pistol?
don't think I ever played that one.
Yeah.
Huh.
You really want the workout. That's where you got to go.
But no, Virtual Cop 2 at home on the that was a Saturn game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was I spent many that light gun. The Saturn light gun was really light, so you could play
Yeah.
for a long time. That game is dope.
And the
as
trigger
shit.
felt really good on it. Like the Saturn gun, the official one.
Yeah, and the way those dudes reacted when you shot them, they just fall down. They would actually
Yeah.
and flip backwards and shit.
And I mean, you got more points for a headshot or a justice shot, but
Yeah.
it was way more fun to shoot them low and work your way up their
Yeah.
body because
Bah,
they
bah,
would
bah, bah.
dance as you
We played a little bit on the Saturn stream we did not too long
Yeah.
ago, but it was a controller. It didn't really feel the
Yeah,
same.
it's not the same thing.
No.
Yeah. I don't know. Light gun games are bad,
Yeah,
but
it's
also
it's a fun casual.
So
kinda
the
bad.
thing I would actually really like to have happen, because I think it would simplify some of this stuff a lot, is that's an ideal use case for playing old games in VR.
There you go.
Of just like, okay, let's just use the controller as the gun.
Yeah.
Just project it on a screen out there. The aiming is good because VR is good at that shit. And let's just play it that way. Or, I mean, you could make a new game around it, and that's what a lot of VR games are these days, are practically just light gun games. With all the depth of a light gun game.
I'm done with
And
shooting
and
shit in
replayability.
VR.
Yeah.
It is weird that they haven't. Well, I guess a light gun or a gun-shaped controller for VR wouldn't really do. I mean, you're still pointing and clicking though, right?
Totally, yeah.
It's weird how they haven't made like some kind of housing. I know there was a housing for the Oculus, right, or something like gun-shaped, or you had the sensor you could put on something to.
Right. Well, yeah, they
Yeah.
sell Vive tags that you can put
Okay.
on whatever. So someone has made a very realistic looking gun with the weight of a gun.
Sweet.
For like more tactical type stuff.
Cut to 5 years later, somebody in the news is going to be saying this is, what caused.
We're training something for something. But the thing is you don't need a shell for your VR controller to look like a gun because you're wearing a headset and it just looks like a gun in the headset. And they've already have triggers on them.
Sure.
They don't feel like gun triggers, but they're fine for that sort of stuff. So.
Want to go the extra mile though?
Yeah, if you want to go the extra mile, then you're getting like the big bulky rifle that's weighted, or even that. What you played Farpoint on that
Vegas and modding one of the
right? Yeah, it's just I need this Uzi, but just can you I don't need the firing pin or any of this other stuff. Can I get a discount? Yeah,
the Sony one had the gun shaped thing, but it wasn't. It was more like a big triangle, right?
Yeah, that was. Yeah, it's a big.
Oh, sure.
I mean, when you held it, it felt like a submachine.
Yeah, it feels enough like a thing.
Yeah.
Did you like that at all, Farpoint?
It's all right.
Yeah,
it's very basic.
Mm-hmm.
Like the story actually ended up being the most interesting part of it. Like I kind of had my fill of the shooting about 45 minutes into it.
Yeah.
It was okay.
So Virtual Cop 2 then.
Yeah. That one's evergreen.
That would be like that's the thing. If I was at Sega and I could get a budget to do like a VR thing, like like hey, don't give me a ton of money because we're dipping our toes in this VR thing.
Yeah.
That would be the pitch. It'd be like, let me make a new Virtual Cop in VR.
A new one, not adapt the old ones.
Put the old ones in there as unlockables or something like that if you got the money for it. But yeah, I would try to recreate Virtual Cop.
If you went stylized and made it look like the old ones, you could probably do it on the cheap.
That would be the exact way I would do it.
That brand has no awareness anymore, but that would be some.
I mean, you'd be selling it to the people like you that love Virtual Cop.
Right? Well, there was that game we played it. I think in the Game of the Year VR thing. It's an Operation Wolf game in VR. I can't remember Operation War or something. Gasm? No, not. Anyway, it is a game in which you are standing at a virtual arcade cabinet.
Oh, weird.
But then when the action starts, it becomes a big window in front of you, and you can hold the Uzi wherever.
Oh, I was going to ask if it was locked.
No,
to
it's not locked to
cabinet.
it. So it looks like you're walking up to a bootleg Operation Wolf cabinet, and then when the game starts, that fades out and it fades back up, and it's like you're standing on the Operation Wolf control surface, holding an Uzi. And then you can look in and shoot around the corner. Or you can look inside the screen and shoot people.
That's holy shit.
And then occasionally, like there's a bonus you can shoot, and then you go in the game and you're driving a vehicle for a little bit and running guys over, and it pops you back out. It's not a great game, but it's an awesome fucking concept in terms of just like, hey, let's flip Operation Wolf in this really wild way.
Frighteningly meta. Kind of take on an arcade shooter.
It's neat.
If you get all that stuff and it's relatively portable, we should mess with that stuff.
Yeah,
that would be fun to play around.
That stuff's all set up. Oh, you mean the actual light gun thing?
Light gun stuff. Yeah, I don't know.
So actually, I don't know if it's still sitting there. We should go look. But GameSpot's had their trash pile for a long time. There's been light guns sitting in that stack.
Oh wow!
For a while.
I think they got rid of. Yeah, they moved that at least because they made it into another sitting area with that.
I didn't take anything off the trash from there, but. I should have grabbed those too. Damn it. Didn't think about it.
Got to move quick.
Yeah.
Around here.
No, I've been looking at that thing, walking past it for like a month, going, I should grab that and mess with it, but just haven't had time.
Carpe light gun.
Yep.
That's
a Carpe light gun. That's the name of my VR game.
That's what they used to say. Jan, what's up with you?
How you doing? I'm doing pretty well, guys. Yeah. Thanks for asking.
Yeah.
I started playing Tiny Metal.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
I
wanted to get into that.
I've been meaning to.
Yeah, I saw the Switch code was still up, and I picked it up. And I was a big fan of whole Advance Wars series, and this isn't really scratching that itch.
No,
yeah, unfortunately.
Well, it's like is it just like the lack of hero power? Like it seems like it's just like the baseline of Advance Wars, but not any of the trimmings.
Yeah. It's part of that. The character design is like the writing is totally cool. I don't like that the main guy just has like these giant bug eyes that he's always staring with.
He's intense.
Anime. The math and the whole tactics part is there. It just doesn't exactly fill that void. It's like the tile feel isn't that great. And tactics, you need good tiles.
How's the difficulty?
It's actually too easy.
Yeah.
Almost.
Advance Wars. My story with Advance Wars, I don't mean to interrupt, but I had to write a game guide for one of the 3DS games. I thought it would be like 4 days, 5 days. It took me 2 solid weeks to write one game guide for an Advance Wars game. Because by the end of it, you're trying to map out what the AI is going to do to everything and trying to explain those games to somebody who can't. I could barely. I finished it, but holy shit, it was hard. And that's what it kind of wanted from a new advance, because I think they're using the words Advance Wars. I don't know if they're
spiritual successor.
Yeah, they're definitely mentioning.
Yeah.
So leaning into that heavily.
Just too easy?
And they're
It's way
advertising
too
and
easy.
everything.
I've purposely tried to pin myself into a corner and just take over all of my factories. I don't want to build anything, just to see what happens, and then somehow I can just maneuver around and bounce back. So
that sounds kind of dull.
Yeah. Not a huge variety in like enemy types or even the stuff that you can make. Even later on, it seems like it's.
Do you think so? The multiplayer is not in that game yet, right?
No. I don't
Do you think
so.
that would be interesting, or does it feel like the options are still too limited for even that to be?
I think the options are still a little bit too limited, only because it's very bare bones rock paper scissors. There's no like gray area in between of like, well, this might be able to do better than that given a different scenario. But even the different cover options of like now I'm on a hill or I'm in a forest don't really add too much depth, or like they don't fudge with the math enough.
They do some okay stuff with like the focus fire, like you can move a unit next to another one, have it like just like pause and ready itself, and then have another unit come up,
like a combo attack.
Combo,
that's cool.
like both fire at the same time for additional damage. But and like push attacks, I forgot what they're called in the game, but
Assault, knockback.
Assault, they'll knock back a unit. That's really about it, though.
Yeah. I didn't realize. I saw a story on Kotaku the other day about like I don't remember the exact details, but some kind of fan translation project for Famicom Wars, which clued me into the fact that like Wars is the actual franchise name. Like I never knew there was anything outside of Advance Wars.
It wasn't until Advance Wars that they were really bringing them over here.
Like I've never heard of those other games, so I didn't like. Now I want to go check our franchise page and see if it says Advance Wars or just Wars.
NES game?
Yeah, like there was a game called Famicom Wars like years before that I guess never came out in English.
Yeah. What is last Wars game official?
Was Days of Ruin
3DS?
still the last one? They never made a 3DS one, did they?
There was not 3D. Oh, I'm sorry. I was thinking of DS.
Yeah, that's Days. It was what was the first? There were 2 DS ones, I think.
Dual
Strike, and then Days of Ruin.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Days of Ruin really did not do it for me.
And then what was it the Wii? Was it a Wii U game or a Wii game? Was it Battalion Wars?
Battalion
Wars.
Oh,
yeah. Like kind of a different thing.
I want to say
they were trying to tie it.
GameCube, actually.
Okay.
I think it was maybe GameCube, but that was like a kind of a lousy third-person action shooter type thing.
But it was still set in the universe,
it was that cutesy warfare kind of motif.
Yeah.
And this game has that cutesy wartime.
Yeah.
Like it's got a really good look, soft focus and everything. Everything's cutesy and I don't know.
Yeah, I wrote that.
That's about it, though.
August of 2005. I wrote that Dual Strike walkthrough. September actually. Holy shit, it's still there.
Wow.
I kind of miss a front mission. The JRPG style tactical stuff.
I never played any of those, but
those were really cool.
I mean, not nearly the same, but Valkyria Chronicles I know has a new one out.
Yeah, that's coming. There's a new one of those coming out.
Did you ever get into like the Super Robot Wars games and stuff like that? Like,
no, because I felt like I needed to have a translation, and there's probably translation patches for those now, but at the time, no, I never got into it.
The new Chronicles game is a PS4, right?
I think so.
Because I know one came out only on the Vita.
Yeah, that was the third one, I think. I watched the trailer for the new one, and it sure looks like that PS3 game.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not expecting huge graphical upgrades, but I never got through Valkyria Chronicles. I got to the huge tank mission where you had to fight that huge-ass tank and a lady who couldn't be beat, and I beat that, and I was exhausted. But I always really liked
huge-ass tank will take it out of you.
Yeah.
Those front mission games I remember being like pretty popular there for a little while.
They were super cool.
Like that was,
that was like I remember like that was at the height of the SquareSoft kind of mania on the SNES, where people just wanted every Square game ever made to come over, and
I wanted
that was one of the ones
front mission. I think 3. I think that was that was the one that I'm not sure if ever came over here.
Yeah, probably didn't. I remember that being one of the ones that people were just like screaming for a localization.
Yep. And then didn't they do some of those games on PlayStation?
Yep, 4 and 5, I think.
Yeah, and that was I feel like the height of like U.S. Tactics mania, right? Around Final Fantasy Tactics and stuff like that. People had more of an appetite for that style of game than, well, I guess Advance Wars is certainly scratching the similar itch.
Man, I'm gonna get murdered for saying this, but between Fire Emblem and Advance Wars,
I definitely liked Advance Wars more.
the wrong one. One out.
Yeah,
in that contest.
I don't. People really enjoy Fire Emblem too.
Yeah, people love it.
Greg Kasavin was always the biggest proponent of that, but
like
the permadeath thing really.
I wish they would make both. Like I wish it didn't have to be one or the other.
Why not both? The permadeath thing really turned me. I didn't when somebody died, they died permanently. I know that's intrinsic to the way those games were made, but
the last few even just let you turn that off if
Okay,
you want.
I
It's not
didn't know.
even, yeah.
I'm just gonna go play a bunch of Military Madness and
Sure.
be done with it.
Yeah. Why not?
Yeah. All right, let's take a quick break and then we'll come back with who knows what.
Today's show is brought to you in part by Squarespace. Are you ready to start your new business? Of course you are. It's the new year. It's time to get moving. The future is coming. No, the future is now. Make that future brighter with Squarespace. That's right. You can use Squarespace's beautiful templates. They've been created by world-class designers, and that makes it easy to turn your ideas into a new and unique website. Showcase your work, blog, content, products, services. Just click away until it looks like the way you want it to look, and then push go. And it'll be all optimized for mobile, so if people want to look at it on phones, they totally can do that. And they've got analytics. That's right. You want to see the numbers? You can see the numbers. Oh, you can see the numbers. And if you do have a question, they can get a hold of you, with whatever you need 24/7. They've got customer support right there. Boom, bang, pow, answering your questions. Did you know a dream is just a great idea that doesn't have a website yet? It's true. Make it a reality with Squarespace. Head to squarespace.com for a free trial. When you're ready to launch, use the offer code BOMBCAST to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. That's squarespace.com, offer code BOMBCAST.
And we're back.
We're back.
Yeah. With a special report.
That's right.
Intrepid field reporter
Yes.
coming live.
Whoa, sorry.
Is that our news intro music?
Yeah, I guess so. Dragon Ball Fighter Z is going to be an open beta. I pulled that up because I wanted to look at the date. I'm sorry.
Live from the mean streets of Santa Rosa. Ben Pack?
Hello out there.
Whoa.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
Hello. I'm here in the wild streets of Santa Rosa.
How you doing? How you living?
What's it like up there? Did the flash flood come? I heard there were
flash
mudslides.
There we have a small puddle of water in the backyard.
Okay.
And it was very rainy.
Yeah. No,
Which is perfect weather for video games.
Yes. And perfect weather for recovering from procedures.
Yeah.
They say, I hope it rains while you're recovering because that'll make it a lot easier, right? They always say
That's
that.
right. That's the old wisdom. Are you still upside down?
It's like rain on your recovery day.
Exactly. Yeah. Do you have to be inverted? Is it full inversion therapy? What are you doing?
I'm good. No, it's just I'm kind of mummified right now. They've wrapped me up. They cracked open the old big cast and wrapped me up in a little cast.
Ooh.
And everything's looking good. I'm on the road to recovery. Still got a bunch of pins sticking out of my toes.
Like visibly?
Yeah. Oh yeah. What's that guy's name? Hellmouth.
Yeah.
Guy.
Hellman.
Pinhead.
Matt
Hellman,
Pinfield.
Yeah. I got a hell foot going on right now, but it only looks like a hell foot. It doesn't feel like a hell foot.
Can you use those pins to, like, if you have an itch on your other leg, can you scratch it with the pins?
Useful.
That seems like it'd be good.
No, they're going in with like little balls on the end as to not.
Oh, it's like more of a massage ball kind of thing. So you could massage your leg with the pins.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Fantastic. That's just great. And
How's it going up there?
it's I don't know. It's good. We're doing
Hanging out?
Yeah.
Missing you.
Yeah. Jason's sitting in your chair. It's weird.
What?
This is
I
my
know.
chair before he ever.
I
did.
know.
He's pretty tall, but he's not as tall.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm trying.
How's that leg room on your left leg?
It's not bad, actually. Yeah. I don't know how you deal with it, actually, to be honest.
Yeah.
The secret is contorting your body into an awful position so that it causes long-term back pain problems.
Perfect. Yeah, I've got that on lock. Believe me.
Great. So have you been wrecked on painkillers and playing video games?
Yeah.
How's
Hell
that?
yeah.
How's that been going?
What did they give you?
Real well.
Should I ask?
I'm off of it now, but I was on Norco. I was on a morphine drip, and then they put some like I guess like anesthesia technology has advanced to a place where they can leave like little blockers, like time release blockers in your body to like just
nanomachines.
Yeah, basically I was full up of nanomachines and Norco, but I'm off of everything.
I think that's the name of the new Eminem album.
Yep.
I heard it was really bad.
It's fucking awful. It's an atrocity. It's basically the worst thing he's done.
Not a single good, except for him saying it's really good. Nobody else. I haven't seen a single positive review of that.
Well, I guess I'm gonna listen to an Eminem album later.
Yeah, get that on. It's worth a listen.
So while you're all hopped up on Narco and nanomachines, what are you playing down there?
I have played a lot of the following video games:
What you got?
SteamWorld Dig 2, Dota 2, Ori and the Blind Forest, Rivals of Ether, Hitman, Ultimate Chicken Horse, Stardew Valley, and Yakuza 0.
Who are you playing Ultimate Chicken Horse with?
Just some friends on the internet.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting that that game has online.
Yeah. That game is out now. It's out of early access. Yeah.
That game's like it's great. I mean, if you know what it is, it's kind of a cooperative / antagonistic co-op platforming builder game. My main bummer with it is there's lots of stuff to unlock. There's lots of additional stages and costumes and stuff. And the way you get those unlocks is you have to grab a box and bring it to the end of a level, but it randomly selects who gets the prize. So there's very little incentive for actually doing it because you might not even get the unlock on your game file. Like might go to the host,
Boo. Yeah, that's no good.
We should take another look at that.
We
should
play
on
some
UPF
more
a long time ago.
I think from what I remember, that thing is kind of like a competitive 4-player Mario Maker.
Yeah, kind of.
Thing.
You're kind of putting the pieces out there to
like
get from
building
point
a
A
level
point
to
B.
fuck people over in real time.
Yeah.
More importantly, how's the soundtrack in Ori and the Blind Forest? I heard it was kind of good.
It's really good. I didn't know anything about Ori and the Blind Forest. I just knew it was a kind of platforming Metroidvania type game.
It's fucking so good.
I remember you going, "Hey Jason, should I play Ori?" and me saying, "Yes, drop everything that you're doing right now and play that."
I'm sitting at about 85% completion.
Damn. Good job.
I've had a lot of time in this bed.
Yeah, sounds like it.
But yeah, the whole bounding mechanic is really cool. It's a really unique take on platforming. I don't know, Jason, did you play the definitive edition?
Yes, a little bit of it. Yeah, but I played more of the original.
So I don't know if this was in the original, but the ability to throw the little orb and then jump off of that.
I think that might be the thing they added.
I think so.
So yeah, that I feel like was completely game changing. And when I found out that wasn't in the rid.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
Thank
Ben
you,
got
Zool.
possessed by deep fucking
Satan is a
in his
big fan of
recovery.
Ori and the Blind Forest.
Turned into a Longmont Potion Castle call there.
Are you there?
Hello?
Hi. You sound
Hi.
better now somehow.
No.
What the fuck was that?
Fuck happened?
Ben, are you okay?
I'm not okay.
Man, those painkillers are fucked up.
Yeah.
If you couldn't hear, we heard a little distortion on our end. That was very.
That if I nudge it even in the slightest, it
Do it again.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Have
Have you played any Hollow Knight?
No, I haven't touched Hollow Knight yet.
Definitely
I've
more
been
people should
playing-
play that game.
Is it out on
More
Switch?
people should play Dead
It's
Cells.
coming out on Switch. I don't know if it's out yet. I think it's pretty soon to be out. It's also pretty really good Steam version. So, yeah, I've been. That's also the big update, right?
Yeah, they're constantly doing big updates.
Play some Dead Cells 2. We're telling you what to play. You're like our video game jukebox.
Yeah. Play Dead Cells instead of Hollow Knight because Hollow Knight is not that good.
I might be with you on that.
It's hard.
I didn't know that. I don't know that I found it super hard. It was just like
playing.
just
There's
kind of
some
got
key
bored.
things in that game, like the map system, that just really rubbed me the wrong way. And I'm like, I have this or I have Dead Cells to play right now. So
I've
suck with Dead
been
Cells.
playing some Dead Cells. That's a fantastic game.
Shit, yeah, it is. Anyway, Ben, any good hallucinations? You've been on painkillers for what, a couple weeks now? They should be kicking in soon.
It's yeah, any day now I'll
Yep.
start to feel better. It's mostly been just kind of delusion. And so the worst part about this recovery is I'm just spending most of the time in this bed, and I'm doing that thing that they say you're not supposed to do if you want to sleep well, which is, don't go in your bed unless you want to go to sleep. Otherwise, your body will not get used to it.
Yeah.
So my sleep schedule has kind of just been whenever my body just shuts off, which has led to some interesting, like 4 a.m. Dota games with some real salty fellows.
Yeah, I figure
lads.
anyone awake at that time is either in some other territory. How many people have barked at you in a non-English language? Have been like, you can tell they're angry at whatever you're doing, but you can't tell why.
Yeah, I'm picking up a little bit of Portuguese.
Sweet.
Just from rage.
Yeah.
Learning how to curse in Russian.
Exactly.
Portuguese rage is the name of Eminem's next album. Weirdly enough,
it's somehow going to be worse.
Yeah, somehow he'll find a way. But the flow, you'll be like, this is technically, he's rapping well. Oh, this is complicated, just not in a way that you ever want to listen to.
So Ben, when should we expect you back? I don't want to jinx anything, but what are we looking at?
So full on recovery is I will be pinned out of the foot, walking around, putting weight on it on February 1st. But I'm going to be back in the area pretty soon here, any day now. So maybe I'll be able to stop by before the full on recovery.
Hobble on in, huh?
Yeah.
Cool.
Clear that couch off for me. That's behind my desk, so I can put my foot up on it.
We'll keep it warm for you.
Do you have like a mobility device? You can be in one of those weird like knee push things,
knee
or
wheelies.
I should get one of those. I just have
get one of
crutches
those.
now.
What do you have? Like a wheelchair? What are you doing?
I
Crutches?
can crutch around.
Man, crutches. That's the worst. All right. So probably. I mean,
when you've got a scooter available to you,
like plus bigger size crutches. I mean, they're probably like twice as expensive for tall people, I assume.
They had to add extensions to them.
They don't even. Yeah, they go up to the little notches on the bottom go up to 6'6", and these are the extra tall.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'll hop back in. We're gonna figure something out here. Just because I want to get out of the house, mostly. I mean, I'd love to see you guys too, but
whatever.
We'll
keep everything accessible for you. I think. Right? I think we legally have to.
Yeah. Okay. That's probably
put a big ramp over those stairs at the front of the
there we go.
Office.
You got it.
Yeah. All right.
We'll get to our ultimate chicken horse ramp building then.
That's right. Well, speedy recovery.
Yeah.
Great. Thanks, guys, for having me. Shout outs to all the fans. Stay strong, guys.
What up with the haters?
They also get a shout out, but it's like a shout down. It's me shouting from like a rooftop at them. Get out of here.
You damn. All right.
Bye.
Back to work, you screws. See you, Ben.
Farewell.
There's a spider web coming over here.
Well.
Ugh.
Gotta make sure.
Thank you, Rory.
All right. Well, with our intrepid field reporter having checked in.
He's so brave.
That was I've never heard distortion like that on a call.
That was really good.
Dude, yeah.
That was something.
That was really good.
You can't make this stuff up.
He had one of those Xbox Live voice changer boxes plugged in.
That's right.
Those things, man.
I bought one of those things, and I recorded the guitar solo from Bark at the Moon onto it.
Yep.
And then never put anything else on it. Like, every time I would get a kill in Call of Duty, I would just play that solo into the mic.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
And everyone was stoked, I'm sure.
They were like, please come again. All right, let's talk about the regular news.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I said give it to me.
All right. Well, there's not a whole lot going on, even though the Consumer Electronics Show is taking place.
There's some interesting stuff. I posted
some
on the
stuff
forums
is happening, but not a lot of game stuff.
A couple
out
of
there.
things.
We'll talk about some tests.
I still want to go someday. For sure.
Yeah, remember when CES was like a thing you did for video game coverage?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That feels like a long time ago.
It was.
Is that the one that had the porn convention just on?
Yeah, that would often be occurring at the same time.
Separated them off, I think.
Yeah, I think they're separate now.
There's a lot of NVIDIA and Intel stuff has been coming.
Yeah,
up,
like tons of computer hardware and stuff, but not so much games these days.
Still,
what else?
I like hardware.
Hey, they announced a new Vive, so there you go. There's a piece of hardware. For you.
Yeah.
What's the retail on this thing?
They have not announced
I
pricing.
think the price is like the one thing they did not announce, or I guess they didn't put a date on it either. I don't think.
Except for people not in the know.
Pricing and
what exactly is
availability,
this new Vive?
Yes,
Are
to
not
follow.
Yeah.
It's called the Vive Pro.
Vive Pro.
Oh, that's kind of a lame.
but I think it actually super speaks to what this thing is.
Okay.
It's not a sequel. It's not a full follow up to the Vive. It's like, oh, this is a better Vive. Yeah. Okay.
It's a
just like a PlayStation 4 Pro.
Yeah.
It's a better PlayStation 4.
Sure. It's a pretty improved thing, though.
It sounds really cool.
So the two screens are pretty high resolution, like way higher resolution.
Yeah,
they're OLED, right?
A 78% increase in resolution. It says.
Yeah.
I heard the word.
and they're OLED.
Yeah, they're both OLED now.
I heard the phrase 3K.
3K.
Is that a real standard?
Well, people call 1080p 2K.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
2160p would be 4K. And
These
so somewhere
1400 by 1600 per eye, if you care.
I do.
I
just want to be able to read text now.
that's what this gets you.
Yeah, this will help with that.
Ideally anyway is like a less blurry time in there.
And yeah, they are OLEDs. It's got built-in headphones. They have now added, or they now have dual microphones on the front and dual cameras instead of one.
Okay.
each.
Dual cameras is kind of an interesting one.
Yeah,
because
that'll get you 3D surroundings, right?
Oh, that's cool. That might be really neat to see because. I mean, not necessarily useful for games per se, but right now, if you double tap the button on the controller, you have to configure it this way, but you can double tap it to turn on the camera, and then I can see my hand in front of my face, but it's bigger than it should be and it's lower because the camera's at the bottom of the Vive.
Right.
Stereo cameras would be interesting because then you might be able to see depth, I guess.
Yeah. I would think.
And then be able to kind of walk around a little bit better than you would with the single camera.
They just wanted it to look like you have eyes.
Yeah.
Sure
so that's
all
like
it is.
that's convenient. I don't know if that will help for software. I don't know if there's anything relevant there.
Do you think
not,
they're
but
like kind of saying this is also a spectator sport? Like a lot of times when you play VR, you're going to be with people in the room having a party thing. Is this like make that easier or
no, not necessarily. This doesn't necessarily help with that. That's just kind of on the software end of just like it's up to the developers to make sure that the display is being mirrored in a viewable way. And actually, someone pointed out after we did the last round of Oculus stuff. I think developers are getting better about realizing that that's something they need to do if they want, like, hey, we want video of our game to be easy to capture.
Sure.
So we're going to make sure it renders out at 16:9 full screen, and so you can stream it or whatever the fuck you're going to do. Built into the new Oculus Home update, I guess there is a display mirror function in there that will just spit out 16:9 feet of the headset.
Awesome.
No matter what it's seeing. I think Vive has something similar in the Steam VR beta these days too, but I have not fucked around with it too much.
No, this is wireless too? Is
No,
that
we'll get to that.
Okay, sorry.
This is not. This thing is still wired. They say they've redesigned the head strap to be more comfortable. Also, it has what they describe as a sizing dial, which sounds like it's probably the thing from the PlayStation VR.
Oh, yeah.
Like where you turn that dial to
so
tighten it.
they sold an updated strap for the Vive already. The deluxe audio strap would be something you could get to put headphones in line with it the same way a Rift has, and also redesign the strap to be a little less unwieldy. Like, the initial Vive is kind of, it's heavy on the face. It was a harder plastic, almost like, a lot like the Rift, really. That more evenly distributes the weight. This seems like a further step in that direction. Looking at it,
Nothing like 100,000 people using it for dozens of hours to give you feedback on it.
Yeah, to be like, hey, this thing, my neck.
Yeah.
I think those are all the big changes. I mean, it's smaller, more streamlined, higher resolution screens, more
New
cameras,
sensors,
more cameras, and you can. Sounds like you can use up to 4 lighthouses now.
And they've redesigned the lighthouses.
Oh, okay.
There are new, smaller lighthouses.
Okay.
So that's a separate announcement from this, but it's
Okay.
basically like Steam VR 2.0.
Okay.
Tracking devices, and you can use 4 of those. You can only use 2 before,
Right.
so theoretically that would be better tracking. I feel like with the 2 lighthouses, it's pretty fucking good. So I don't know what 4 necessarily gets you, but sure.
I assume they're not going to keep 2 models on sale at the same time.
Regular Vive will be on sale at least through 2018.
Yeah, they did mention that. So maybe they just
what, $350 now? $400?
I'm not sure.
I know
what the current price is.
Yeah, it's around there.
I wonder.
That's like the
one-
Rift and Touch bundle. I think might be $349 or $399.
Don't buy a Vive now, I guess, is the word, because they'll probably start cutting that price down when this comes out. I
Yeah.
would assume.
I would definitely.
Maybe, yeah. It's I don't know.
Or maybe this thing will just be super expensive, and they'll keep the price
The word pro always connotes premium pricing. So
for sure. Well, it's cool to see the stuff evolving.
Yeah,
If I had just bought a Vive like a couple months ago, I might not be super stoked. But
yeah, but that's any piece of technology,
yeah.
especially first gen. You're going to run into those sorts of people that get hit by that. I think this will, I'll be curious to see how software takes advantage of this stuff. I mean, a lot of it is as simple as just like, hey, it's higher resolution, right?
Yeah.
And then at that point, like, what do the minimum specs for VR become, generally speaking, if you're going to push whatever the resolution is to 2 eyes at a
a
smooth frame rate.
Oh,
sure.
Like that raises the specs probably.
Do I do cryptocurrency mining or VR? Like one or the
exactly.
other.
You can only do one.
What are they?
Crypto bubble's going to burst any day now.
Yeah.
Well, I've seen
So's VR. If you, depending on who you ask.
I've seen pictures of like Target or like Fry's with like all the video cards are fucking gone. They're just
I saw like yesterday I saw a forum post somewhere of people saying like, hey, 1080 Ti's are in stock, and like 30 minutes later, like, oh, they're all gone now. Like, those things are just like flying off the shelves.
What does it have to happen for VR to have a whole new generation that's not backwards compatible?
I don't know.
Like, would it have to be a totally different resolution in the
That's
camera?
a great question. I'm not sure. The thing like higher resolution is really great.
Yeah.
Because that is the thing when you put it on, or over time. The first time you put it on, you're like, holy fucking shit, this is the craziest thing ever. But over time, you go like, man, I can't read shit.
The Oculus beta that we had that like 3 or 4 years ago.
Oh yeah, well that thing is that thing's way lower res. Yeah. So they've come a long way.
Yeah.
But yeah, higher resolution gets you that better text and a cleaner look to things. That really.
Well, I'm saying a different resolution in the camera is like not 4:3. If you made that into a bigger thing, like changing FOV in games gets really complicated because all of a sudden your arm clips through stuff and everything like that. I assume if you really wanted to go, because the big thing about VR now is the frame of what you can see is very
field of view.
Well, the field of view.
If you want to change,
I was about to say that's the actual thing that I would say probably would matter more to me personally than even higher resolution. But I think if you could hit both, that'd be great. But like a wider field of view to fill up your peripheral vision a bit better, I think would be pretty cool. There's the Pimax headset I think has a much wider field of view, and supposedly a much higher resolution. I don't know where that thing's at.
Pimax?
Yeah, it's another company that's making another thing. And so I think those are kind of the two key things, like visually, I think that I would want out of it, at least, speaking as someone who is not a developer. Because there are a lot of ways you can get there with just like, okay, was like a foveated vision or reprojection or stuff like that to kind of like keep frame rate up on lesser hardware, or to try to like put the pixels where the eyeballs are. So you could get to a point where you're doing eye tracking and making sure that you are, that hey, this thing that the eyeballs are actually staring at is sharper because that's where you're trying to read, and you can kind of cheat and blur the edges a little bit more. That's the sort of stuff that they could get to as well. I think they've talked about. I think some VR manufacturers have talked about that as a thing they want to mess with. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I would actually like. What is the second generation of VR? I mean, it's probably AR with lenses that are extremely wide FOV that you can black out to do VR if need be. So you can kind of have both. But that's honestly, that's probably not second generation VR. That's probably fourth generation VR. Whatever. But that seems to be the direction we're heading in. I just don't know what the baby steps are along the way. I mean, I guess the baby steps are where we're at right now in both AR and VR. We're like, hey, let's do AR with phones. Magic Leap's going to hit at some point. HoloLens is out there. Like, at some point, those technologies have to both sufficiently advance to the point where they can kind of become one thing. But that seems like that's the roadmap, right? Is eventually they become one thing, and ideally they're lightweight, untethered, and good long battery life, and they can do all this
untethered,
stuff. Untethered. Tell me about Y-Gig.
I'm glad you asked about Y-Gig technology from Intel. Like you mentioned, HTC is coming out with an official wireless adapter for the Vive, even though
a third-party one existed that they
kind
kind of said like, the TP Cast.
TP Cast, and then there was another one from some outfit called Display Link.
Okay.
One of those came out of HTC's like Vive kind of
incubator program.
Incubator for tech. I don't think they have a name on this thing yet. The official one.
It's the wireless thing for VR.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And yes, it uses Intel's Y-Gig technology, which operates in the 60 gigahertz band.
Ooh.
Not a lot of details other than that. I mean, it sounds like those third-party ones worked pretty well.
Yeah.
And it sounds like this is basically the same thing.
And
I
what exactly does this replace?
So right now, it untethers the headset. So right now the headset has to be connected to the computer directly in both a USB and HDMI capacity.
Oh, I know.
So yeah, it replaces those two connections with wireless.
All right.
And it's got a battery on it, obviously, at that point, to keep everything powered up. I think the TP cast would last about 2 hours.
That's what the story says. Yeah.
It's about as long as you really want to go.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to
like
imagine.
that. 2 hours does not sound like a very long time, but you're right. I think in terms of just like, hey, let's do VR for a while. Like if you're in a
party situation,
if you're in some kind of party social setting, where
usually
you're going to burn through that.
In my experiences, 2 hours is like about as much time as people need to get through it. And like, let's go drink for a little bit.
Yeah, and then come back and do more.
No, it's January.
I know.
I think wireless is fucking rad. That was always the thing when I thought about setting up a Vive at home. Was like I don't have the space in where the room where my computer is not a good VR room. I can do stuff with the Oculus there.
If you're like in a sitting position.
No, I can stand up and move around a little bit, but there's always that danger of just like, I'm going to fucking punch out my TV.
Yep. It seems like wireless would make that more of a danger because you don't have that feedback on the wires in terms of
you
where
might be
you
right.
are.
Yeah, but also wireless would let me get out of that room into a bigger space.
Sure. Just do it outdoors.
As long as it can go through walls and that sort of stuff, which I assume it would. But if I could get into another room, because the lighthouses don't have to be connected to your PC the same way the sensors on an Oculus do. So you could just set up, here's my VR area with my wireless controllers and my wireless headset and my sensors, and it's my living room, and it's larger than the fucking office little bedroom I'm in now.
What is 60 gigahertz compared to like Wi-Fi and stuff? Isn't it? It's shorter wavelength, I would assume. Wouldn't that be harder to get through walls?
Might be.
You probably can't go very far at all with it, but you wouldn't need to, right?
I mean, hopefully, if it can get through like 2 walls in my house, then that's all I would need.
Yeah.
Because before then, I was thinking like, well, if I got a Vive, I could get find some good powered or some good long USB and HDMI extenders, which the Vive works well with some of those, but not so much with others. So it becomes like, which brand are you getting? All that sort of stuff.
Hope I didn't just make that up. Like I'm pretty sure like higher gigahertz or smaller wavelengths.
I think that's right.
That seems like how science would work.
Well,
man, I don't know.
I know 5 gigahertz Wi-Fi does not have the range of 2.4.
I don't know.
So
talk to me about quantum. Talk to me about the string theory and what the satellites are doing to us.
You
I don't
picked
know
up
how
some tips.
old your house is, but like a lot of houses, especially in San Francisco, have chicken wire through the walls,
Right.
which makes Wi-Fi and cell signal, especially like it's big Faraday cage. I don't know. Somebody's going to correct me at some point. I probably should not be saying any of this stuff because I'm going to get a lot of angry tweets.
We are wireless
flying without parachutes
engineers,
now.
Technicians here. My man Matt Rory invented the Wi-Fi spec back in the 70s. The 70s.
I should have patented it.
Matt spread spectrum Rory. That's what they call
We
him.
learned it on the streets of Reno.
That's right.
My main concern is latency. Any
Yeah,
kind of latency that's involved with VR makes for a very bad time.
Totally.
Sure, but
I think
that would destroy the experience, and people talk like those existing adapters do it well.
It is more latent than a wired connection, but not perceptibly so. Is what I've heard.
Like within the threshold.
Yeah,
within tolerance.
Definitely within the tolerance.
At this point, we've been doing wireless shit for fucking 15 years. I mean, I remember the first wireless was,
but not so much with our eyes like that.
No, true. I mean, that'd be very different. But I remember the first wireless controllers came out, and I could feel very much. It was very much like a.
It wasn't until like the Wavebird came out that it was like, okay, this is something I would feel okay using.
They're not going to put out a product that people get sick using, I assume. Like this is
I mean that TP cast has been passing with flying colors so far, but
I think there's a rush to put this out on market because people really want this, so there's potential for them putting it out before it's fully.
Yeah, it's possible.
Always possible.
Sure.
But I don't know.
But do you think like latency with this kind of stuff where you're just like half a second off, that would be enough to make it really?
Half a second would be a lot.
Half a second would be a lot.
Would be a fucking lot. But
is that the kind of stuff that causes the nausea?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because then, I mean, think about when you have a lot to drink and or something, and you get to a point where you turn your head and then then your vision moves.
Yes, it's unpleasant.
That would be the feeling in VR is you would turn your head and that is your controller signaling input, and then the screen updates after the fact. You would fucking fall over.
I'm curious about
thinking about it.
About the time length we're talking about, like 50 milliseconds, and how everybody's going to be different.
I don't know what the actual threshold is, but my understanding is that it's a little bit longer than you think it might be. And that this thing is, or the TP cast at least is well under that to the point where it's okay.
Okay.
it's hard. Yeah,
the only question
try one.
from our side is like, can we use that in the studio and still get video out?
Yeah, because it's still coming to the PC the same way it does now. You're just replacing the existing connections.
So the way that we capture, we don't capture it from the headset so much as like we do like a screen mirroring type thing. We capture
that'd be so
from
much
the
easier.
desktop.
It's easier, but then if you're capturing straight raw display, the thing you get is you get the cage, you get the Guardian system or the walls. So when we're doing the rodeos and stuff, and we get to the edge of the world or the edge of the tracked space, like it throws up a huge grid that is like, hey, don't fucking punch the TV, dumb shit. The grid. And we don't capture that because that doesn't get mirrored out to the monitor. And I think that's a better way to capture games. Like you could do that, but I think we'd have to do one of two things. We would either have to turn it off, which is potentially more dangerous, or leave it on and then the footage looks shittier. And I don't think either is a great solution.
Still getting there.
So the wireless stuff isn't just for the new like Pro.
This
so
is
it's
separate,
for both.
It's a separate product.
It is a separate adapter, and it's
so you can buy the adapter with the old.
Yes, it will work with both headsets.
Cool.
In fact,
any pricing
considering the resolution, like it might even work slightly better with the old one because it's a lower res, right?
Any pricing?
No. They point out, this story points out that the TP cast is $300, so maybe somewhere around there. It's probably not going to be cheap.
It's problem with CES, man. Everything is like pricing availability.
Everything.
To be announced
like I'm trying to look at the new TVs getting announced, and none of those even have dates and prices yet. It's just a big. They're too busy like showing off TVs that you can roll up into a.
Is that this year's thing?
Yeah,
I haven't been. Okay.
LG has like a paper thin OLED that will roll up into a roll.
Fantastic.
Did you see the wall?
Why do you need to do that?
The wall.
The what?
The wall.
You remember Total Recall? They're fucking watching breakfast.
Yeah.
135-inch TV.
Oh, wow. What?
Like thin as shit.
Yeah.
You can put it up. It's basically a wall of TV.
Yeah.
It looks. It's
all right.
No pricing and availability to be announced
follow.
later. They say it will be out this year, though. I forget who's making it, but it is Total Recall. Like that.
Yeah.
It Total Recall was set in 2017.
Oh God,
Verhoeven, man.
Was it really?
He's
Dude, wouldn't fucking
on the dot.
I can't even think.
No, look it up. CES, the wall. It's all like
The signs that we are living in a Verhoeven movie are
all around us.
are manifold.
Are micro LEDs the new big thing? Is that what's going on?
Yeah, MLED. I saw.
MLED.
Who's pushing that?
Probably Samsung.
I think it's Samsung. Yeah.
And what's the deal there?
Apparently, it's like OLED, but not organic. Is my understanding.
Finally, some fucking goddamn synthetic
synth
LED.
That's the super brief blurb I read
Fucking
about
farm
it
to
this
table LED bullshit. Fuck that shit. Give me the Monsanto TVs.
It sounds like it is better than OLED, but also like it's not even in any production products right now. It's just
great.
Just a tech thing.
It's
So
just
it'll
tech.
like a scalable like pixel resolution, like it'll output whatever resolution you need and not scale.
For sure.
I'm not exactly sure how it works. I had to look into it more.
I didn't read up on it a lot, but
And then there's the Razer TV. Or no, I'm sorry, the NVIDIA TVs.
What?
65-inch monitors
NVIDIA's making TVs?
They're pairing with a bunch of other companies, like multiple.
Yeah.
65-inch monitors, G-Sync, 120 hertz, 4K.
NVIDIA Shield built in.
NVIDIA Shield built in, and the promo video they put out has this behind a desk and a mouse and keyboard like a foot away from
like
it.
you're gonna sit in front of a fucking 65-inch TV.
They're apparently positioning it for like desktop usage,
That's
like have it
insane.
as the centerpiece
That's
of your
insane.
thing.
I want a monitor that's like maybe 24-inch. Like that's crazy.
Think of 35.
I got a 30. It's pretty all right. And honestly, like I have a 55-inch TV that I sit maybe 3 feet from.
I sit like 10 feet from my 55-inch.
I mean, they're not. You can put it wherever you want to, but
yeah.
they really seem like these are. I haven't looked into all the marketing stuff, but the way they framed it in the first like opening video is like you're on a mouse and keyboard,
like
in front
directly in front of this thing, which is nonsense. Like that's, but
I mean,
but also like I started thinking about it, I was like,
the tech
65 is too big, but that 55, like,
that the tech side of stuff, if they can put it into like a sub
I've tried
2K
55.
package,
It's still too big. It's a little too big.
if they can put that in, the pricing again, not unknown,
it's
but
too big. But if I pushed it to the very back of my desk and then sat as far away from it as possible,
yeah,
Then
you could maybe do it. But
that's why I like a smaller monitor, because I want to sit like this. I want to be like maybe a foot away from it.
just on paper, those things sound really cool, but
Yeah.
no idea they could be $3,000 probably now.
Yeah.
But G-Sync and 120 hertz, if you haven't, I mean, that stuff really does change the perspective on PC gaming for me, at least. I mean, this is kind of stuff because it's really hard to know what G-Sync does until you sit down in front of a monitor, which nobody.
But also, like I just the whole G-Sync fucking proprietary nature of it, and like the G-Sync FreeSync thing.
Well, I was reading,
just fucking sucks.
Apparently, G-Sync has, in order to put what I've heard, and I don't know if 100% true, like NVIDIA has certain quality checks on monitors that use G-Sync. Like you have to have certain, like kind of Sony does theoretically does with games and everything. Like monitors have to be up to a certain specification, and they can't.
Seal of approval.
You won't be able to sell a shitty monitor with G-Sync, which is why it costs more. And I get that, that's only it's an excuse, but you know, if you buy something with G-Sync, theoretically it's going to be a decent monitor. I don't know. I mean, AMD, man, that war between AMD and NVIDIA and Intel. Like the other thing that I was going to bring up is the NVIDIA is now launching their laptop chips with AMD video cards built in. They're fucking huge.
Wait, Intel, you mean?
Intel and AMD are making chips together, which is huge. Like really
That's
fucking
nuts.
weird.
Yeah.
There's a new mobile thing. It's Intel CPUs with AMD GPUs, one massive chip.
Yeah, I
and
saw that picture of that thing. It looks crazy.
Wow.
They're positioning them as gaming laptops, and I think Dell announced one for like $1,300, and that's the kind of stuff that. Again, Intel and AMD making products together. They've been at war for 20 years, but now NVIDIA is the one that they really are combining to fucking take down.
Right.
Which is, things are going to get really weird for the next few years.
At what point does NVIDIA just say, all right, fine, we're making a CPU? These things are already pretty high-powered anyway.
They're making so much money off of Bitcoin miners. Like they can just, everything they make is sold like right away. Like I think the 1080 Ti's are on sale on NVIDIA's store.
Yeah.
And that's
they
the only place
on NVIDIA store. And they
the
sold
only
out
place
in
you can
like
find them
30
for
minutes.
retail.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, fucking, you got to get, if you want to mine the best fucking intergalactic Bitcoins, you need the fucking Star Wars edition Titan. Everyone knows that. Like, don't fuck around.
all I mean that this is a really weird time for tech, especially with the jostling for the top end of stuff, and it's super CES. I've never been, like you said, I've always wanted to go. The news coming out so far, and I have a feeling all the big announcements are already out. It's like E3, everything comes out before it starts. But
I agree. It is a really weird time for tech on that front, but also like I think that there's no next big thing. Like phones are so established right now that like. No one's going to CES to go like, show me the new phones. Also because there are separate phone shows and stuff like that. But like those advancements in tech seem like they're not grabbing attention the way phone stuff used to.
And new TVs aren't necessarily.
Yeah, new TVs are like cool, but like you inherently understand what the fucking TV is.
And if you're
even if you can roll it up like a map, like whatever.
If you don't play games, the NVIDIA TV is not that doesn't mean shit to you.
Yeah.
But that to me is like. Wow, that sounds like because we're in the market for a new TV.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just wait for a little bit and see. It's going to be pricey, but under $2,000 for like a 65 TV like that, I would think about it.
But VR at some point was like, hey, here's this next big thing that's like really fascinating and crazy. But that's out and established well enough to where we're looking at these incremental upgrades. Like you look at it and go like, that's awesome, but you're not walking away going like, man, technology sure is fucking nuts.
Here come wearables.
Right. Because all the stuff that's fucking nuts is like chip deals and, hey, we found a way to make this thing slightly smaller and like
you can bend your Kindle now.
I'm just not feeling it the way I used to. Yeah. There has to be something else. Someone needs to come up with something else because like the iteration that we're on right now with a lot of this stuff is kind of boring.
It's going to be medical. I'm sure that the next wave of tech stuff is probably all going to be like medical stuff, I assume, which is going to be, hey, great. More people are going to live longer, but it's also...
oh man, bummer. More people are going to live longer. Well, yeah, no, I mean, that's the fucking watch tech is now doing heartbeat monitoring and, they're doing health studies for just like, hey, we're trying to detect irregular rhythms and we're going to measure your glucose and all that sort of stuff. Like medical tech is definitely going to...
Robot dentist, give it 10 years. I mean, holy shit. I'd trust a robot dentist more than on my human dentist.
My human dentist is pretty good. I've had dentists in the past, though, that I've been like, man, fuck this. Yeah. I would rather do this myself.
Yeah, so going on all week, maybe go to... I don't think we're going to talk too much about it, but... GameSpot for all your game coverage. Yes, but I don't think there's a huge amount of game stuff going on.
No, really not. Not that there ever was, but there's like practically none now.
There was, but it was the 90s.
Well, super long time ago. Sure. Way back in the day. Raise your hand if you've had the office betting pool for Paladins being the next game to introduce Battle Royale
I
mode.
called it.
Oh, damn it.
I don't know if I did or not.
Paladins, the kind of Overwatch-esque, cartoony,
Ooh, yeah,
And
totally.
they're straight up calling
cartoony
it
team shoot. Yes,
Battlegrounds.
that's the rub. it's an Overwatch-esque cartoony
Hero
kinda-
shooter, right?
hero
There
shooter.
we
Sure, I
go.
guess that's the term.
That's what they call it.
Still in early access, but yeah, they're rolling out Battle Royale mode called Battlegrounds.
Whoa.
Wow. Paladins Battlegrounds, totally different.
Yeah, that's true. This is strange because, this is... So they're talking about you're going to be able to pick up loot, right? Your characters, are already equipped with, their special attacks, their special
Like,
weapons.
yeah, like
and
it's a
stuff.
class-based
what are you-
shooter.
What
Yeah.
are you picking up?
I don't know.
In
Because I've only seen I watched Dan play some of that game for a quick look, and I
Yeah.
don't remember there being any kind of persistent loot.
It looked like an
Aspect, right.
Overwatch style game that was
Yeah.
like better than for a game that you would think of in your head as like, oh, it's some fucking Overwatch knockoff. Like it was better than that.
Yeah, it totally is. Yeah, it's
was
a
that-
pretty
And
good
it's
game.
free to play.
Who's behind that? Because I know there
High
was
Res.
High res, makers of Smite.
I want to say there was a
Atlanta
specific developer
represent.
that was behind it. Maybe I'm thinking of something else, but I don't know.
I'm not sure, but
No release date announcement or anything like that. I
no,
don't think.
they describe it as early in development.
Yeah,
The Gold Rush is officially on.
Yeah, like
holy
it's
shit.
it's the mode that everybody's
Yeah.
going to do now, right? Like,
Yeah.
who is not going to do one of these?
Street Fighter.
You're at least going to try. Street Fighter could, it's 100,
not?
100 fucking reuse.
Yeah,
It would just be the
They
first
had that-
person from the Switch. They'll
Right,
do that. And it'll just
exactly.
be everyone motion controlling fireballs.
You're gonna
Yeah.
shoehorn into Shenmue 3 somehow.
Yeah.
But I mean, literally calling it the thing that the,
It's-
the
that is
gigantic
the ballsiest
industry-changing game is also called is like
That's the ballsiest thing. And considering Blue Hole,
Blue
Hole.
PUBG
Yeah.
Corp.
Considering they
Yes,
already
PUBG Corp, really, yeah.
have been talking litigation, like that is kind of, I have a feeling, almost a bridge too far.
I
but
feel like Battlegrounds is such a fucking generic term. Like they shot themselves in.
did not
the
trademark
fucking-
it in terms of like, I would assume they'd have some kind of trademarker.
But they couldn't. They probably wouldn't be able to trademark something that generic. Which is why they would have to call it Player Unknown's
yeah.
Battlegrounds.
I don't know. I mean, it's ballsy as hell to call their game that though. Like,
Yeah.
that's. Hey, more power to them. Hopefully, it's
Yeah.
good. Is all I mean, as a player, I don't really care too much about all the legal stuff. I find it fascinating, but I just want something really fun to play.
I mean, it is a good thing for other people to put a different spin on that
Yeah.
game type. Like,
Totally,
We,
yeah.
should,
Considering-
we shouldn't make it some sacrosanct thing where only PUBG can exist.
Right.
the chatter,
because
It's
it's not.
its
It's not
own-
like they were fucking first anyway.
Yeah, right.
So
It's its own genre. I like
Yeah.
seeing different spins on it.
Yeah.
you
But
know,
the
it's
naming is
fine.
a little shameless.
Yeah.
the chatter around Battlegrounds now that I've heard definitely ramped up, at least in the last like week or so, is that cheating has gotten
It's
to a
bad.
point where it's
I-
like markedly worse.
they've got the test server back
God
up
damn
with
it.
like new reporting tools and stuff
Okay.
like that.
What is that going to
I-
do though? Like
I mean, get people banned from the game while they work on
temporarily,
other stuff.
while they create a
I
new
mean,
account. Like
but also while they work on like actual better anti-cheat stuff, right? I mean, it has to come from multiple angles.
it's
I had
such a band-aid.
an amazing experience over the weekend because there is now a bot out that will shoot through terrain.
yeah,
Mm.
like 1,000 feet away with like SMG. I've heard like third
Like
person.
I was looting. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I've heard third person is way worse than first person. But one of
Yeah,
our mods
yes.
this morning was saying
So
like
Pat-
first person is
Pasquale
still
was saying play first person if you want a relatively cheat-free experience. At the
still
moment.
happens there too, but third person apparently is
Like
way
I was
worse.
looting a house and I walked into a little side room that had a window, and like literally the second I walked through the door with a line of sight out the window, died to an AKM headshot out
Yeah.
of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're shooting through
And I
hills.
went back and watched the replay, and the dude was like a mile away shooting into the side of a hill.
Can you report from
Man, fuck
kill
that
cam?
game.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were. That's
So
that's
the
where
thing
you
they're
report.
testing on the server now is you can report people who didn't kill you. When you're watching replay, if you see someone who's
interesting.
doing other shit, you can now report
Yeah.
those players too. You know, popular games go through this. Like it
Yeah,
fucking
totally.
sucks
Have they
as
announced
shit.
any kind of like numbers?
With the size of the player base. I
They've
thought
said they've banned over 1.5 million.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
30 million plus purchases
Yeah.
or something like that.
25, something like that.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
But you know, like Counter Strike,
yeah, totally. I mean,
still goes through
Yep.
this. TF2
Yeah.
deals with this too. Like
totally.
at some point, if you've got a fucking popular ass PC game, this is gonna happen.
Overwatch. I mean, like,
Right.
people are out there selling cheats for
Yeah.
Overwatch. Like, it kind of goes with the territory. That doesn't mean it doesn't suck.
No,
Speaking
it's
of
fucking it's
territory,
terrible.
though,
Like
like-
it's worse because it's a game I would like to play.
Right.
Well, whatever.
Yeah.
Also, I have not encountered any cheating myself.
Yeah. That one I just mentioned was the first time I actually wanted to just tap out of the game because I was like,
Yeah.
dude, this like that's
Yeah,
just
that's
there's nothing sporting about this.
No,
you know?
yeah.
Well, the other option is to, I mean, I know they never do this, but I hear just getting rid of crates with, there's somebody who said the rare stuff drops like every 80 years for a specific player. Like you play for 80 years, you get the most
They
rare
just
stuff.
put out details on new crates. So part of the test server stuff is going to be them testing out new crates and keys.
As long as you can farm for that stuff, like there's no motivation for people not to cheat.
Totally. And they put out odds on all the items.
Okay.
And like
you have to do that in China, right, or something like that.
Yeah. And or at least for mobile games. I'm not sure if it's PC stuff. Actually, I think it is. Anyway. The rarest items are, I think, bandanas for your face. Was one that's like checkered, and another one that's like leopard print or something like that. And one of them's like 0.05% rate out of those crates. So,
there's a max amount that you can sell stuff on the Steam marketplace for, right? Is it 250, or am I thinking of Diablo 3 or something like that?
Maybe, I've seen some astronomical numbers out there. For
maybe that's a problem that Steam needs to address too. Like set a maximum cap on. If you're talking about,
I'm surprised, honestly. Like we were talking about this a little bit last week, like not on the show, but that like these sites that let you fucking cash your items out for money, that they still exist. That Valve has not just like fucking found different ways to block that shit.
Like they took steps. They have shut some of them down, but
like maybe those were just the most egregious. But like it's still. I was looking at a site last week that was like, oh, I could get $30 cash for these fucking yellow track pants. And as long as that exists, as long as you can launder the money out of the system, that's what's going to cause this. If the money is locked up in Steam forever, then no one's got any incentive to do it because they're just like, what? Like, I'm running my bot farm so I can get free video games? Like, I don't know. But and then there's the back doors there of just like, well, I'm going to use this money to buy games and then sell them to other people and gift them to them. All these outside of Steam ways that would be very hard to lock down. Sure. But it feels like that stuff is so readily available and not shut the fuck down that like Valve is like turning a blind eye to some parts of this problem.
It's all in Russia, though. I mean, I'm assuming there's only so much they can do about sites in Russia and China that are outside their legal jurisdiction.
The one I was looking at was definitely maybe their corporation was incorporated somewhere else, but it was not some shady ass looking Russian site. So I don't know. I feel like as long as that stuff still exists, you're going to have these problems, not just in Battlegrounds, but across the number of Steam games that do crates, that do this type of tradable, sellable loot. And it's like, it's a cool system. It's kind of neat to have this marketplace. It's like, it's interesting.
I'd rather have the cosmetic loot than, obviously in-game stuff.
Oh, yeah,
but still, it seems like the core of the problem is that the fact that
like, my vintage Luger morph is still worth some weird amount of money. All that other dumb TF2 shit. Yeah, I don't know what the answer is, but right now it feels like even in light of like the steps they did take to try to make changes around this, and there was the conspiracy, the site with the CS:GO skins that were run by fucking CS:GO streamers. Yeah. Like, check out this site. I don't know. I'm really doing great. Skins gambling is rad.
Well, actually,
I think that was the stuff they specifically tried to shut down was the gambling.
Gambling in particular is what they went after.
But the selling is still ever present, and it probably shouldn't be for what it does to the games themselves. It probably shouldn't be there.
Like the way people try to just farm PUBG for items.
Yeah,
it's a real bummer. Speaking of astronomical numbers, Nintendo has put out some fun facts about the sales of the Switch to date.
Facts are fun.
In the 10 months that the Switch has been out in Japan, it has now sold more units than the Wii U did in its lifetime.
That's crazy.
Wow. Mm-hmm. That's in Japan.
That's good.
Wii U sold about 3.3 million in Japan, and they just passed 3.4.
Wow. Remember, not so long ago, like a lot of people were like, "Should Nintendo just get out of the hardware making games?"
Yeah, I think that's every other every other Nintendo console at this point.
So stock people are always saying that too, which is really funny.
And then also they have declared, I guess somebody's checked their numbers and validated this, but Nintendo has declared the Switch the fastest selling console in the US of all time.
Yeah,
for the first year,
it's selling faster than the Wii.
Yeah,
it sold more than the PS2, I think, or PS2 or PS3 in Japan too for the first year, which is huge.
4.8 million in the US by the end of last year.
God damn.
Faster than the Wii and every other system ever made.
They'll pass worldwide Wii U numbers here pretty soon, I think, right?
Oh, probably, surely,
yeah.
A rousing success.
Yeah, you're right. Actually, Wii U lifetime to date 13.56 million.
Mm-hmm. They'll probably hit that this year if they haven't already.
Yes.
That's crazy. It was such a gamble for them too. Like, it's a weird piece of hardware.
Yeah,
but man, it's
I just
it's really really well.
Proof is in the pudding, right? That thing kind of sells itself. Like it's
the game sells.
Well, it took a while. For once the gimmick. Oh, I think the gimmick on its face is just like if you tell somebody, "Hey, you can play the same games on the TV or on the go." Like I think that
it's self-explanatory. The games were not there.
Oh, sure. Well, yeah.
Right, but there's something to the idea of just like, well, because if you look at like 3DS sales, they've been real good.
Yeah.
Even while Nintendo's like consoles have been hit or miss, generation off, like the handhelds have been doing well.
Yeah.
So them saying, hey, this is the thing that's also our next handheld, it's them putting all their eggs in one basket and reaping the benefits of it, Yeah. It's more expensive, obviously, but, something you might be slightly less likely to give to a kid. But whatever, they'll get a proper Pokemon game out for it. They'll do all this other stuff, and then they'll fucking really be seeing some numbers.
Yeah. Oh my god.
When they start leaning into the portable stuff, or when they start leaning into the games that make their portable devices so fucking popular,
like Advance Wars.
Yeah, like then you're gonna see some serious shit. Like this ain't nothing compared to the numbers they can hit when they fucking start getting that stuff out there.
Most consoles don't they start selling more as time goes on, right? Like I think PS3,
they start getting price drops, and like the software gets a little bit cheaper at retail.
I mean, like more. Obviously, you're always going to sell more, but like more per year. I think for most like really popular consoles, it's gone up the first 3 years of a thing. So, hey, Switch is everywhere, man. Happy.
Here's my expert analysis. I've been thinking a lot about this story. People like the Switch.
Whoa.
True that.
I
like it a lot.
It's good. I like it more than I feel like I even should, because I'm not as hot on the games as some other people have been, but I still like this is a pretty rad fucking thing.
Yeah.
Same.
You need to try to get in that Skyrim. I've been trying to play it, but after going through the PC and the UI mods on PC, the UI on Switch is like scrolling through a list of items is
tough. It's just vanilla console Skyrim.
Yeah. I put it on my top 10 list. Yeah, I ended up playing that. I put it on my top 10 list because I found myself playing a lot of older games that I've played before, like Mario Kart, and then also new stuff as well. But it really got me thinking about how many games I want to see ported to the Switch because it provides such a just cool, unique experience.
Like Mr. Shifty.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Everybody should try that one.
Are you on their fucking payroll?
Are you Mr. Shifty?
I don't know if you guys saw any of my actual live stream, but I played for like an hour, maybe 80 minutes. I beat a level that was really hard.
Okay.
I got to the next level. It crashed. All my progress wiped out.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Now that's shifty.
Living up
back
to
to the beginning of it. It was a good 70 minutes of gameplay just wiped out because there's no cloud saves. That's just my big problem with that game. But,
how is the 21:9 support?
It's I think it has black bars because
what
you can only see so far.
How can you even play it?
It's a visual game. You can't see past.
How can you deign to play?
Mr. Shifty, man, I like that game a bunch, but not it crashing and losing hours worth of progress.
That sucks.
Yeah,
maybe it's different on the Switch. Maybe that won't happen.
That is crappy. Let's see.
Shifty.
Last story. The folks behind Rebel Galaxy. Remember that game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Space trucking.
Mm-hmm.
Double Damage is the name of the studio. Put out some footage of a Star Wars space sim that they pitched to EA.
Yeah.
Which EA was apparently not interested in.
That sounds like a really, like for a developer to put out, like we pitch this and it was turned down, seems like a really kind of shady thing to do. And as a publisher, not shady, I would say, but as a publisher, I would feel like they're kind of making us look bad by turning it down.
At some point,
maybe these guys aren't safe to work with in terms of PR and like.
I mean, I don't say that maybe there wasn't an NDA involved or anything like that.
And they retained, they didn't make it for EA.
Yeah, they made it on spec.
They made it and pitched it to EA because EA owns Star Wars. It's
I'm
not like
saying anything's illegal or anything like that, but as a
definitely,
that seems a little weird.
I feel like there's an aspect to that that's just like if I was EA, I'd be like, oh, fucking thanks.
Yeah,
thanks a lot. It's just like Sega probably was with the Jet Set Radio stuff that was out like last month. Like a studio just kind of cooked up some designs. And then put it out there, which it's like, hey, here's a thing we made that showcases the talents of our team, and which a lot of companies put out that type of concept stuff, for like, hey, here's the thing we were. But when it's someone else's IP, and you're like, hey, here's a failed pitch we made, all it does is
please don't tweet at EA. And
exactly, all it does is turn a fan base on a publisher in a way that if I was that publisher, I'd be like, I'm never taking a meeting with you ever again.
Yeah, it felt a little weird. The game looked cool, but
the footage, I'm looking at the footage right now. It looks quite nice.
Yeah, but also, like the Jet Set stuff looked really good. Like this X-Wing or this it's like an X-Wing style game.
Yeah,
like somebody's just talking about X-Wing and VR.
I mean, there's a fair amount of third person behind the ship stuff that looks a little more Battlefront-y.
Yeah,
like a little more modern arcade shooter. But like the in cockpit stuff looks like a space sim. It looks like an X-Wing game.
Yeah, I mean,
it's got readouts. And
they made Rebel Galaxy. They know how to do that.
They could make a serious one of those.
Should kickstart it.
Wish they would.
One of my favorite all-time Kickstarters.
Incentive to put this out there as well.
It's the situation seemed a little odd. I'm not criticizing for doing whatever.
It's unusual for sure.
It's just publisher developer business is locked down for a lot of good reasons.
Yeah.
And
well, to be fair, they didn't take him up on the pitch, so there was
sure.
no
I'm not
business.
saying, I'm not saying there's anything immoral or illegal about what they're doing, but I'm sure there are a lot of people at EA who are pretty pissed about it.
Especially, I mean, when you think about like where EA is at right now with fucking Star Wars, the last thing they need is like,
why didn't you make this awesome game?
Yeah,
who knows how it looks?
It's like this is like a prototype that uses some Rebel Galaxy stuff in there too. It's not like it was some in production product. That's
the publishers have enough PR issues with canceling stuff that people don't even like. 1313, what was that Star Wars game? Like they get so much shit for how awesome that game looked and the behind the scenes stuff. They don't need other people like bringing up stuff that could have been, because anything that could have been is always better than what is, and that's especially Star Wars fans now are just pissed about Last Jedi, pissed about Battlefront. Putting more fuel in that fire as a developer when you might have to work with EA again in the future.
But also, like, this team is in the business of drumming up business.
Sure.
So, by saying like, hey, here's the thing we made. But yes, I guess maybe that's the backlash there. Is if you were some other publisher, would you be like, I don't know if I want to do business with these guys. That's kind of they kind of did this other publisher a little raw here.
They specifically said they pitched this to EA, right? It wasn't like some generic kind of thing. So
they said we pitched this to EA. They were not into it, which,
I would. If
companies get pitched on everything all the time.
If I was framing that as a developer, I would say, hey, here's an idea for a game we had. It didn't work out, but here's like, as a blog on your developer thing, like it didn't quite work out, but this is the kind of stuff we'd like to do in the future, and like leave the publisher out of it, because that puts EA in a really weird place.
I mean, if it was a Star Wars thing, it's pretty obvious.
I know.
But yes, totally. I felt the exact same way about the Jet Set stuff that came out not that long ago.
What was that about? I must have missed that.
It was the same deal of a studio made a bunch of fucking really rad looking Jet Set Radio like stuff, but I guess they went back and forth. So what was it? They showed it to Sony, and Sony was like, "Hey, that looks pretty good. You should brush it up a little bit, and we'll take it to Sega with you." And so
like
this is what the
thing?
story. Yeah, I guess I don't know if they just showed it to him offhand and were like, "Hey, we could pitch this to Sega if you want. This is what our team does." I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how that end of it worked.
Do you know who did this? I'm trying to find the name of the people.
I don't know. I can't remember the name of the studio. But then so it ended up getting pitched to Sega that way, and then I believe Sega was like, "Thank you, but no, we're good." And then sometime later, then relatively recently, that footage. Or those assets got out there.
We're talking about something different from like a guy who worked on the project put up on his like personal DeviantArt play, like this is part of my portfolio. When stuff leaks out like that,
right?
Cool,
yeah,
no big deal. But
unless it's for a canceled game, and then I see why a publisher might be like, hey, you just said that we worked on a new fucking Desert Strike game for 18 months and then killed it. Like, please don't do that.
A lot of weird stuff like that, but. Portfolios are a big where a lot of stuff leaks from, and I can totally understand why people would want to.
I mean, they need to build a portfolio up and say, hey, here's the work I did. Like, you should hire me. Like, I cannot blame them for doing it.
My favorite ever along these lines was somebody who put up a Kickstarter for like $10 million to make a Halo movie.
Right.
And part of it was like, we need to buy the rights from Microsoft to get the rights to this. I've never made a movie before, but give me like literally $10 million to make a Halo movie. And just the disconnectedness from reality
how anything
in terms
works.
of that thing was. And people were giving him money too. It was like, I think it was like some weird concept art. Like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna get the rights, and we're gonna make this movie. It's gonna be great.
Almost endearing.
Really cool ideas.
But then that gets shut down, and because obviously it would.
Yeah.
And then all that creates is people going like, "Fucking Microsoft! Why would they do that?" Like,
they don't realize they already spent like $50 million on the Halo movie with Spielberg. Like
no
10
part
years
of
ago.
that was rooted in any kind of reality. Like, that could not have happened for that amount of money.
I don't mean to rag on the people, Rebel Galaxy people. Like, it's
whatever. Like, they're a fucking sharp fucking team, and this footage only double proves that. You just look at it and go, man, that looks fucking awesome.
Yeah,
I would love to play their next game.
If I was EA, I would be a little miffed.
Yeah, for sure.
They may not care.
Not that anybody cares about
I'm
EA.
sure.
Maybe they looked at the last year of EA and said, we're never going to do business with them.
I'm not worried about EA.
Honestly,
feelings.
they probably were at a point where like,
nobody's
probably never pitched anything to EA ever again, so put it out. Who cares?
Nobody's worried about EA's feelings about this. It was a lot of weird little things.
Dinosaur Games is the name of the group that did the Jet Set stuff.
Yes.
This looks good. It looks like
looks really good.
It's like a nice modern take on Jet Set.
That would be cool.
Yeah. But not to be, at least not yet. How's everybody doing? Any bathroom breaks?
I could
head into
actually,
emails here. All right,
right.
let's take 5 real quick, and then we'll come back.
I need more than that.
10? We'll take 10.
No, 5 is fine.
All right, we'll be right back.
35 minutes.
Electronic mail. Who's ready?
Never.
No?
Nope.
Not even once?
No, the company won't let me.
Never.
Yeah.
Not my phone
Not even
anymore.
once.
Yeah. Can't check my email anymore.
Email's done. Well, I saved the last emails
All right.
before
Thank
they all,
God.
before they all went away. These are the final emails on Earth, and I'm going to read them.
Are they
now.
the good ones?
Yeah, I did what I could.
Give me those Glenn Gary emails.
They're not quite that.
All right.
Yeah. Let's see. Always be emailing. Ashley in the UK.
Bombcast.
Bombcast at John Bomb.
Always be emailing Bombcast.
Yes, that's where you send the emails.
That's right.
Ashley in the UK. For Christmas, I received PUBG on Xbox. Having never played the game before, I sat down for my first round. 2 kills and a tense 20 minutes later, I had the chicken dinner. I've not played another round since for fear of losing my unblemished 100% win record.
Yeah.
Please share your tales of beginner's luck.
It's not quite the same, but I like a year. We were still upstairs a few years ago. I played Spelunky on Steam for the first time, and I beat not Yama, but I beat Olmec. One time I ever played it because I played a bunch of beta.
Try?
Played a bunch of beta. So it's not quite the
counts.
same. But
Hmm.
for a long time, my record on Spelunky on the PC was 1 try, 1 completion, because I think Olmec is the one that counts. Yama is a totally different thing. And then I just kind of stopped playing for a long time.
The day that I got Ninja Gaiden 2, I fucking pretty sure it was the first time I ever sat down and played Ninja Gaiden 2. I got to the last boss of the whole game.
Whoa.
And then could never do it again. Ever again, because that game is hard as fuck.
I mean, you saw me, the other one, the big one, recent one is Bloodborne, like beating that in boss for the first time.
Yeah,
and then the real in boss.
That
after-
was
I was way over leveled,
was
to be
super-
fair.
that was
but
still a moment. That was good.
that, and also streaming Smo and Ornstein in Dark Souls a few years ago. I beat that on the
Smo?
second. Smo and Ornstein?
Smoff?
Smoff and
I
Ornstein?
always said Smoff.
I don't know. It's like Goff and Gao in here in the city. I beat that on the second try solo, and I was really proud.
Nice.
But then you look at like people doing level 1 runs and beating everything and like with no problem at all. It's
They've played
not quite as
before.
yeah. So those are my 2 big ones.
Anytime I win an online fighting game, I attribute it to beginner's luck.
Unplug the controller.
Sure.
Different iterations of Rainbow Road for me.
Okay.
Terrible in Mario Kart, but sometimes you just hit the curves just right.
You fly off and you get that weird shortcut.
They got that
Yeah.
big skip
By
at the beginning.
accident.
Completely accident. Yep.
But they got a chicken dinner first try,
Yeah,
huh?
that's crazy.
Congratulations.
I could
Yeah,
kind of
that's-
see never playing the game again.
Yeah, I got
Take that feeling.
because
just
even
fucking
I got mine
retire.
pretty early, but mine was like my 3rd game or something
Really?
like that, or
Yeah.
4th.
Highest I've ever gotten is number 2. Also on a stream. That might have been the last time I played.
I got like my 4th group one over the weekend.
That Xbox version's weird.
Yeah.
It's they've patched it a couple times and like it's better than it was at launch, but still pretty rough. I don't know. Last time I played it over the break, it just like hard locked, like audio skipping, just and the whole
Awesome.
thing just dumped.
Do they have even the second map in there yet?
No.
Or no?
No.
Maybe if and when they get that thing totally cleaned up, you're still going to be playing on a controller. Which
That's kind of the
granted, it's a level playing field, and so is everybody else.
everybody
but
is.
like, I don't know.
the encounters that I've gotten into that have been like me and some other person being idiots spinning around each other trying to get a shot off on a middle of a staircase. Doesn't seem great on a controller. I don't know.
This email blew my mind. This is fucking cool. Miguel from New Jersey. In X-Men on the Genesis, you destroy a computer near the end of the game. At first, it seems as if you're just stuck in the computer room forever.
Mojo.
To progress, you had to lightly press the physical reset button on your Sega Genesis. Press too hard and you'd actually reset your system. The game never teaches you how to do this. What other games have out-of-left-field mechanics like this?
I don't know, but fuck that game. I'm glad I didn't buy it. I just rented it. But yeah, I
Did
got
you run
stuck
into
there.
this?
Yeah, fuck yeah. What the
Like,
hell?
I looked it up because I was like, this can't be right. This has to be some... But like I saw, sure enough, I saw a bunch of websites saying like, yeah, you have to just like barely tap the reset
Really?
button.
See, I'd
think
never
that'd be an
remembered
analog.
that part of it. I remembered like, yes, you have to hit the reset button here, but I never remember it being specific about
like how you hit it.
Do you think that was some like weird like memory overload that they had to work around or something?
Well, no, it's probably something they did deliberately and
that fits in with Mojo.
Yeah, and it's something that plays
on the
around with.
stage.
So there used to be EGM would print cheat codes for games that were like put in Alex Kidd, rip it out of the system, put in Shinobi, and hit reset, and you'll have infinite lives. And so it was like weird cases of like when you reset a Genesis, it doesn't fully clear the RAM.
Sure.
So I think X-Men just takes advantage of that fact. They built it specifically to be like, oh, when you hit reset, this is going to stay in RAM, and when the game boots up with this in RAM, it knows that you have played to this point of the game and then progresses. I imagine that's the tech behind it.
So you we're supposed to reset the entire thing.
Yeah, you are supposed to reset the game to continue.
Lightly hit it.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I
don't know. You say you saw other stuff saying
I saw
you hit it
other
lightly.
sites
Like I don't remember that
saying
part of it.
certain
But
analog buttons on those consoles?
No.
I mean, that's the thing.
Like, the
It's
only
only if you held it in for like a
it's probably,
amount of
it was
time.
probably like if you held it in longer, it would fucking
like
destroy.
the system can detect or cares how long
Yeah.
you hold it down. That's the only thing.
So if the memory's totally volatile, then if you hold it down, maybe that goes.
The
weird.
famous one is Psycho Mantis, but apart from that, I don't know of too many.
I always liked. I never owned the game, but my cousin had it. The Star Tropics letter.
Mhm.
You had to like put in water to get the code out to
Like in the box,
continue in the game.
Yeah, yeah.
It came with a physical letter that you
It was
had
like
to
invisible
submerge.
ink that you'd have to.
Well, there's a lot of weird, like old PC codes for copy protection where you had to like look at the third letter on the 57th page of this
They have
manual.
like a
Neuromancer came
symbol
with a
wheel.
it came with a code wheel.
Yeah.
That I printed out every iteration of the code wheel at a copy store.
Would you build it as well? Like cut them out?
I didn't bother.
Okay. All right. That's too far.
Yeah.
Chris asks, whatever happened to Steam machines? I thought there was supposed to be a console-like box that played my Steam library by now.
Turns out developers didn't want to port their games to Linux as much as Valve thought they would.
Yeah.
Like they were having like Steam Dev Days. Come up here, we'll show you how to get started on Linux. They were very much trying to be advocates for port your games to Linux so we can still sell Steam machines.
I
But
feel like I saw an okay number of games saying that they had a Linux port, but probably
not
near
enough. And well, I think it was like that chicken and egg thing of like they probably didn't sell a ton of Steam machines, which did not inspire developers to do the Linux work, which in turn did not sell any more Steam machines.
Yeah.
That initiative is pretty much dead. I haven't seen that on Steam.
Also, like honestly, if you want to play Steam games, why would you box yourself in with a machine that can kind of only play the games? Like just get a PC because a PC can do a lot of other things.
Well, I mean, the Steam machine is just a PC.
Well,
There's
I know,
nothing stopping you from just putting Windows on it.
But the use case was like they wanted people to hook it up to a TV with a controller,
Right.
and use it like a console, and that's pretty limiting.
Yeah, if you auto started Steam and went into big picture, and I don't know, some people get way into that weird shit.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I need to add all my non-Steam games to Steam so I can launch them out of Steam. Right. Like, what? Why the fuck would what you? I was like, oh right, you're just like all you know is big picture. So if if I can't, like some people are like, okay, I've got an emulator, I've got every Genesis game, and then people have made software that will like match all that up with like Steam friendly banners for all these Genesis games and download it all and throw it into your library. So you've just got like thousands of things in there so that you can launch individual emulated games directly out of Steam through this, like basically using Steam as a front end for it. I bet I would never in a fucking million years want to do that.
I bet it is that rich presence thing that a lot of people want. Like they want people to see what game they're playing at all times.
Discord does that.
Sure. I would not be surprised if that's
not the games though, but the emulator. At least.
I bet that's what they're after.
Maybe
something like that.
Xbox Live picks up PC stuff.
Yeah.
In a lot of cases, you don't realize it's doing it, like because they don't tell you which apps. It's like, oh, you're playing fucking. I'm trying to think of even any examples.
Like every time I launch that Xbox app on Windows 10, which granted is not super often, but every time I launch it and see somebody playing Dota 2 in it, I'm
exactly.
like, fucking what?
Yeah.
And then like, oh right, yeah. It's a weird thing to rope into what used to be like a walled garden.
Well, especially like you have cases where the PC version of a game has an Xbox equivalent, but they're not united.
Yeah.
Do you see that and go like, oh, I need to send them an invite? Why can't I? Wait, what's going on? Hey, how come I can't join the?
Yeah. It's kind of weird.
Some of that stuff's a little strange.
Yeah. Oscar sends in question. Since it was released on the 22nd of December, it missed out in Game of the Year consideration. But please consider amending your most disappointing game category to include Mom Hid My Game on Nintendo Switch. I haven't played it, but for changing the name alone, surely it's a greater disappointment than Mass Effect Andromeda.
Was that the Korean one?
Yeah, that is. I looked it up. Like
Korean, but
I thought it was. I think it's from Japan. Right?
Yeah, I think it's Japanese.
Yeah, but yeah,
Diamara.
Hidden My Game by Mom literally came out on the Switch under the name
and 3DS.
Mom hid my game. Oh, it came out on 3DS.
Yeah,
really?
so if you want to play it at a lower resolution than your phone and pay money for it, I think, whereas it's free on phones, you can do that.
Do you think Nintendo forced the name change?
I don't know.
What was the original name? I'm sorry.
Hidden My Game by Mom.
Okay.
Like it implies that Mom made the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's my mom.
I can't disagree. It's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. The fixed name is worse.
Yeah. Totally.
Let me in, let the right one in that everybody got so mad about.
Totally.
Yeah.
Indeed. Let's see here.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. Steven from Phoenix, Arizona. Like, this is going to have to be discussed at some point, even though there's no answer.
Huh.
Quick question regarding your new policy of including early access games in Game of the Year discussion.
Okay, not that one.
Yeah. It has to be done. Does this mean that you will be following game updates more closely? An early access game that's written off in its first month of release could shape up to something special. What happens if a game hits 1.0 the next year? Does a Game of the Year nomination disqualify it for future awards?
I think we'll look at games in the year that they made their impact, and that's going to be different for different games because it's going to be when we come to them because they're our awards. I don't think it necessarily means we're going to be like keeping up with a ton of early access games unless they're good.
Right.
If anything, that has it has more of a chance to impact our negative categories because if a game is real bad in early access, we're probably just never going to look at it again and never think about it. So yeah, I think it's we'll look at games in the year they made an impact on us individually as a staff.
I mean, he's got other questions about like games as a service and how are those considered over time and blah blah blah.
Like they're not. I mean, it's like same type deal. It's a weird process, but video games are a weird thing. Yeah. So it's kind of impossible to categorize them all with all the different cases that are out there.
The real point is that it's a giant mess.
Yeah.
And the standards that we apply, just like the awards, are super arbitrary.
I kind of find UPF valuable for going back to stuff that was in early access earlier because I really want to try more Starbound because I know that it hit its 1.0 a while back, and some games like that early access stuff that I put down, like Dead Cells, is surprisingly full featured for an early access game. I'm really curious what they're going to do with 1.0.
Well, it's come. I mean, because playing that game when it first came out and playing it now is dramatically different.
But they still say they're like
as good,
a long way away from.
Oh yeah, I mean, that game was awesome. Fucking week one.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, there's definitely games that I like keep on my wish list that are in early access. I see a lot of potential in, but I'm like, I'm holding off on doing like a quick look on it or an unfinished or whatever until it's finally released.
Brad lured me here with the promise of talking about Horizon a little bit.
Yeah, we kind of ran out of time on that stuff, but
it's fine.
I've still got a ways to go, so I might as well.
When we do,
might as well finish it before we. Yeah.
Let me know.
But yeah, a lot of conflicted feelings.
I think with that stuff, I think we kind of take a fresh take of what Game of the Year is going to be anyway. So I think, that kind of stuff is stuff that we'll think about as we're thinking about the awards and all that other stuff. I think the main difference is that, I think we're going to consider games in the year they made an impact because, there are early access games that are really fucking strong that would stand up in some of the categories we've had in the past. And there are plenty of games that technically qualify by hitting 1.0 that are fucking way more broken than anything in early access. Yeah.
So that's kind of what I meant earlier about it being arbitrary. Like it's nothing but a series of judgment calls. Like every game, you have to look at it individually and say, does this make it?
As somebody who comes up from the outside, like I'm not involved in the Game of the Year discussions, and I'm kind of very glad about that.
But if you were though,
I was just going to say, as from an audience perspective, it's amazing how passionate people get about this kind of stuff. To a point where it's a little scary sometimes, and I don't want to. You say arbitrary, and that is something that people will probably get upset, like saying that it's a little arbitrary. But it's also like
it's the most subjective thing that we can possibly do.
The whole point of it is to
all I'm going to say is
something seriously that is not that you kind of can't take seriously. Right. That we take it seriously in the discussions because you have to. But the whole thing is inherently sort of ridiculous.
Yeah, at the end of the day, you have to have the knowledge this is just a fucking list that some people put together, and that anybody on the planet could
these are the 10 games that
another list together
that we put together, and we stand by that, and that's cool.
All I would say from a person who works with the moderators, please take it with a light-hearted sense of humor. Please, like, take it seriously all as you want to if you're in the community and commenting on stuff, but please remember that everybody's fucking human beings over here, and don't be a dick about it.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing
Not
that
I should need to remind people,
right?
But
yeah,
holy shit.
Well, it's
I mean, it was
last
the
few
thing,
years on the internet. You've definitely.
Like,
I like
that
that
was the thing you said all along, right? That like people are capable of becoming extremely angry about video games.
Oh yeah,
so,
that's,
like
I
going
mean,
all the way back
but-
to early days of GameSpot.
Right. I mean, but that's
Like-
you know, and then anytime you put anything in an ordered list, you're just inviting that. You know, that stuff is going to be it's going to be a lightning rod for debate.
I like that we
no
put
matter
out
what.
our deliberation, like how we got there, our journey, and I saw a lot of like mature comments out there. You know, people didn't necessarily agree with our list, you know, but they liked seeing how we got there.
Sure, a lot of people had by and large, a lot of the comments on that kind of stuff, except for Horizon not being on it. Where I agree with
And
that.
That's how all lists are made. Like
I
those,
know.
those same types
I'm
of discussions were happening at GameSpot for years.
Yeah.
before- when
I'm
we were
glad.
not,
I'm glad you
know.
said arbitrary and don't take it super seriously, because I think that's a good reminder for people to have. Because a lot of people, for some reason, especially ours, like people just get really invested in it, which is great. Like I said, passion's great.
Yeah.
Just don't be.
Like
Some people need to take it down a notch.
it is an arbitrary thing that we take intensely seriously.
Yeah,
at
we
the time.
totally
like it's
do.
not
Yeah.
but also like
But like we're not like the fucking centralized video game standards and ratings board.
fucking
you know?
maybe
Like,
you're not shit, man.
But you know what I mean, you know, like we're not the last word on what the 10 best games of the year are. This is just our list.
We're the last word on what our 10 best games are.
Yes, right.
And that's all. That's all we ever claim to be. But you know, the game of the year stuff is meant to serve kind of two purposes in terms of the content, and it's that list. It's like there are people that really enjoy like the conflict and compromise that is involved in putting these categories together. And then there's also the aspect of it of like we get to say what a lot of things about a lot of different games in this kind of like end of year context. And people I think get the wrong idea sometimes because they're like, I don't know why they just add a game to take it right back off. It's like that's the whole point of these discussions, is to have these discussions about games. Like ultimately that stuff is actually probably more important to me than who wins or loses categories. It's us talking about games, and that's the stuff that I think matters. So I think those are the two prongs of game of the year in terms of like our awards. Is it's like the debate and discussion that comes in building the lists, and then the chance to really kind of look back on those years of games and say, hey, you know what was a really good game? It's not going to win anything, but we need to talk about it here for a minute because it did this one thing really well. Like that is the other equally important thing to me when it comes to it. So I don't know, every year, and you know, sometimes we get started a little earlier in the year than others, so it gives us more time to think about it. This year was pretty hectic, I think.
But you guys rag on me for bringing up Mr. Shifty a lot, but it's, at the end of the year stuff is where you can bring up those like hidden gems.
Yeah,
that,
Totally.
Everybody has those kind of stuff.
Like
and
that's the point of the personal lists, and part of why we do the discussions is just so that people can kind of put a voice to the games that meant the most to them throughout the year.
Also, in a deliberation, you never know when something's going to catch fire. Like you might think it has zero chance of hanging, and then you put it out there, and then like three other people are like, "Oh yeah, that's
actually
like
I really
right?
like that game," or,
Yeah,
or actually you are more passionate about this
Right,
thing than I
right.
was about
or
this.
you
or-
made a convincing case or whatever,
Yeah.
and all of a sudden it's like, "Oh, this is actually maybe in contention now."
Yeah, like I thought that
That's
was one of
always fun,
the weird things about like seeing some of the like I watched some people watch the deliberations live in a chat room and saw some other stuff during that week, and the number of people who were like, "Where's Horizon?" And to me, I was just like, not on this list. Like at no point.
I think you got more of it. I was watching your feedback on your Tumblr and stuff, and you reviewed it. And for me, it was, and I don't want to go. We shouldn't recap Game of the Year stuff. For me, it was.
Talk about Horizon if you want.
I don't want to make this hour long. I'm not upset that it wasn't on the list. I don't really care. I care about this kind of stuff, but I don't.
Yeah.
I would never write an angry letter about it. But for me, Horizon was number one with a bullet. Nothing really came close the entire year.
So like I when I played Horizon, I enjoyed it a really great deal, and then never once thought about it ever again.
Fair enough.
And
I mean,
and so it was like the situation where it was like
the same thing.
Like this is like this is a high quality product, but is it one of the 10 best games of the year? I'm like, no.
I think people were surprised that it wasn't on there, considering the positivity that a lot of us approach it with. But I feel like a lot of people just didn't play it.
I don't know. That's
So
it's interesting
wasn't
because
a
like
big deal.
I wonder like if those people would rather have like, here are the 10, like it's at some point that's like, do you just want
10.
like, here are the 10 games we gave high reviews to? We're done. 5-minute podcast. Like
I think you guys explained well why I wasn't on there.
Yeah,
it was just
I
one of
don't
those
know.
kind of things that people were surprised by. But
Yeah,
I'm here now.
I was surprised. I was surprised that people brought it up. So so much. It was just like, oh, okay, I guess.
I know you're
sure.
playing it. You say
I just passed the 40 hour mark in it, and there are things about it that I think are fantastic, and some other things in it that I think are very dated and like not very well put together.
I don't know. I'm not here to have a commentary on Game of the Year. I just was a little surprised that it wasn't on there somewhere. But hey,
not to go too deep into it right now, but that game is starting to remind me a lot of the first Assassin's Creed. In that it has some like really amazing ideas that haven't been fully formed yet.
Yeah.
And if they Assassin's Creed 2, the next one, like that could be fucking mind blowing.
My problem with that game, my big one, was the DLC. I bought it, hit the download button on the web store to automatically go, and then it started updating on my PS4, and I kept on going in there trying to find the link quest to get to the DLC part of it. Turns out it never actually downloaded, and I was very confused by this. And I had to go to the game library, find the add-on DLC thing, and manually download it. And that's when I started. And by that point,
that stuff sucks, man. Because like that's fighting games are real. So I played a little bit of Injustice 2 last month, and a lot of characters had come out since the last time I had played it. And I had bought the season pass, and like all the stuff had downloaded because those are all the mandatory patches that you're going to just get as a part of it being a game installed on your system that you've played recently enough for it to trigger the automatic updates. But if you launch it without having gone in and said, yes, download this character, character, like even though it's downloading like these, the 108K, it's like it's actually larger than that now, but the old
like meg
Xbox
or
360 ones were
whatever.
108K. It's just downloading the access key for it before you can actually select the character.
Yeah.
And that just sucks.
Dude,
that should be like once you purchased it, it should just be like, and especially in a fighting game where it's going to download the data anyway because it's a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
Just
the range of different ways that the PlayStation Store can bundle and sell multiple pieces of content.
Like the number of times you'll get into a page that like, oh, I want to buy this. It'll be like, you are not eligible to buy this, and you click into it, and it's like because you downloaded this demo already. There's a thing here and this, and
it was
sometimes
Steam. I mean, Steam will you buy something in Steam, like especially DLC, and that Horizon DLC is in the middle of the game, like you can go to it any time. It's not like a separate add-on expansion thing.
Yeah.
So it should be bundled in with the full game, but I had to go find it, especially after hitting download on the web store too.
I would say though, for a single player game, if I had purchased the game and not the DLC, I would not want to have to waste storage space on my PS4 for content that I can't play.
Sure.
For a fighting game, it makes sense because it's competitive. You need to have the characters you don't own anyway.
I'm saying when I bought the DLC, it should recognize that I own it, and it automatically put it in there.
Absolutely,
so,
yes. But
that was my big confusion.
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, it's fine.
I always say I'm sorry to interrupt, but then I do it anyway. So
Please feel free.
Everybody
So
loves
maybe
it.
you're not that sorry.
Maybe I'm being facetious.
Chris from Long Island, New York.
Hi.
Does Bowser have the ability to change his size at will? We see in some games that he is the same size as Mario, but in others he's big enough to tower over him. And then in some Mario Party games, he's the same size as Mario, but in some mini games, he's his huge self. What do you guys think of this?
This is actually a feature that is usually reserved for bad guys, evildoers.
Okay.
That they gain the ability to change size at will.
At will. They don't have to eat anything?
No, it's just like that they can just be whatever size they want.
All right.
Like Megatron.
I was just about to ask if this is what
Yeah,
led
this is
to
the-
modern day
this is the
Megatron being
theorem.
bigger than Optimus Prime, which is such bullshit.
Or Megatron being a pistol that Soundwave can hold.
Oh, sure.
But also be a giant pistol sometimes.
If need be.
Is a corollary to this the ability to make a large part of yourself disappear into nothingness when you transform?
Yeah, that is definitely related.
Like where does the trailer
Where's the trailer go? It's
Who
it's
knows?
not important where the trailer goes.
My favorite argument along these lines was that in Sonic games, Robotnik at the end of the level will run off and Sonic will chase him. So by implication, Robotnik is
just
faster than
just as
Sonic,
fast as Sonic
and
is.
is the fastest character in the Sonic universe.
Fuck.
Which some
Fuck.
I can't take this, Rory. You just shattered my whole childhood.
Yikes.
I don't want any part of this anymore.
Hey, I mean, he's not getting any bigger or smaller, but he is faster than Sonic.
If you guys heard about this theory that there are two Bowsers,
One slightly taller than the
regular
other.
size Bowser, and then there's a bigger Bowser.
Just tag in.
It's like what was that? What was that? Movie with the twin doctors and the one they're both dating the same lady.
Doctor.
It was who did what's the body horror director?
Cronenberg?
Cronenberg, I think it was with Gabriel Byrne, I want to say. Sorry.
Not sure which one that is.
Tangent.
That's not the movie I was even thinking of.
What's the name of it?
The fuck was I thinking of? I don't know. Freaky Friday. That's what I was thinking.
Vino from Australia. Which video game collectible would you most like to eat? I think a power moon would be delicious.
They do look pretty yummy.
Are they edible, Odyssey?
I don't know.
Oh,
That's one way
I
to
let's
find
assume
out.
they were.
you seem like
They're made out of cheese.
there was a big there have been a lot of channels on YouTube that have done like game recipes and stuff like that. There was a whole long World of Warcraft recipe series that somebody made. I'm trying to.
Is Westfall stew actually good?
It's made of like gizzards and buzzard hair and shit like that. So probably not.
Did they put Old Blanchy in there?
I don't think El Blanche is still kicking. I think I don't know.
Perpetually on his last legs.
Yeah, I'm not sure. In terms of what I would like to eat, good solid Triforce.
Okay.
Big old Triforce.
I would eat an agility orb from Crackdown.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was
I'd
actually
fucking crush one of those things up.
Are we talking about actual
It's
getting the power up from it? Or?
I don't know, but I would have to know what would happen.
I bet those orbs taste like chemicals and gasoline.
They just taste like electricity.
I don't know, man. All the pickups in burger time are things that don't go on a burger, like a cup of coffee or ice cream or fries, which I guess you could put on a burger.
But strange. I've been playing a lot of Neo lately. They have those little green Kodama spirits that you collect. They're collectibles, technically.
You can't eat a Kodama.
But they have like bowls on their head already, like they're prepackaged
flip 'em upside down
for
and
the
go.
most part. You put them in one of the saunas that you find them in,
they're
and
such friendly spirits.
just make a soup. They look delicious.
Don't eat
I would
anything
eat
from
a Kodama.
Bloodborne. That's for sure, because everything in Bloodborne is like menstrual placenta and everything like
Yeah,
that.
eat that celestial placenta.
Yeah.
Gain the knowledge of the cosmos.
Eat them all three at once, man.
Plenty of people are out there eating placentas. People still do that, right?
Weird. I think so.
Yeah.
I've heard a term for making it into a pasta. It was like
Yeah.
A pasta?
placenta.
Dude, fucking no. Let's move on.
Lasagna placenta. It was one word, and I forget what placentia or something. Here we go. Now we know the title for the podcast.
Garfield's favorite.
Ugh. Okay. All right. Let's do like 2 more emails. Christopher writes in. Email is titled Snakes.
Shit.
Would you rather be solid, liquid, naked, punished, or old?
Punished.
Naked and punished.
Punished was my first thought, so I could just carry around a big chip on my shoulder
Yeah.
and also get a cool robot arm.
I would not. No option for Solidus.
Solidus.
That was the president, right?
Did he ever? Yeah, I don't know.
I want those fucking robot arms, man. That was great.
The Doc Ock.
Yeah,
kind of
just
stuff.
Flipping out of F-15s
Yeah.
on top of the goddamn
That
Pentagon.
would be fun.
It would be cool. Just
That
have that
would be
big
pretty
old
good.
dark, deep voice. The robot arm from MGS5 would be awesome to have. Pretty cool.
You can shoot that at people.
I just want to be the DARPA chief.
Yeah. Donald Anderson.
First to go.
Yeah.
Get me out of here.
Except maybe it's not you.
Oh, I'd just be the real DARPA chief. Okay, all right.
Okay. Garth from Charlotte, North Carolina.
Hey.
With the last email. On the original Sega Frogger arcade cabinet, Frogger is shown narrowly avoiding a car tire while wearing a vest, tie, and holding a briefcase.
Yep.
Now, what job is he so urgently trying to get to? Department of Transportation? Hop manager at a beer brewery? Or is he a software developer for the Leapfrog Company?
Look, fucking field test your fucking open mic act somewhere else, man. Here are the 3 things I wrote. Here are the 3 Frogger jokes I wrote. Which one do you think is best?
I could have just stopped after the question.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just generic office worker.
Yeah.
Frogger.
That was my gist.
Insurance sales.
Yeah.
Yeah, insurance.
Yeah, insurance seems
Okay,
like
sure.
He's doing a audition for.
I was going to suggest like investment banker, but that's probably too high society for Frogger.
You're not walking
Frogger-
anywhere as an investment
Yeah.
banker.
Frogger probably has a little rented office down at the strip mall, right?
He's not making money because he's not driving. Like he's
Yeah.
commuting, like by hop.
Little
To
one man operation.
Huh.
One frog.
Frogger's in Reno, is what you're saying.
That's right.
Huh.
Yep.
Is he married? Have kids?
Oh, I don't know.
Hope not.
Thing about
Little
Reno,
tadpoles?
a lot of churches and strip malls. A lot of strip mall churches in Reno.
In
of
Oakland, we
strippers and
have
churches.
my part of East Oakland. You bike down Foothill for like 30 blocks. It's nothing but strip mall churches and liquor stores.
Yeah.
Side by side. That's all there is.
That's all you
there
need.
is.
I don't know that I had seen a church in a strip mall, like just literally like just another storefront. But this one is like, yo, I was surprised.
Surprising amount of them. Those are the places that are packed on fucking Friday night. And all day
The
Sunday,
churches
obviously.
are?
Yeah. The
Not-
strip mall
not-
churches are they pack them in.
Wow.
No joke. Especially in Oakland.
Are they usually like Unitarian churches or something?
I
or-
believe they're mostly
Okay.
Catholic over in Oakland at least.
The ones I saw all seemed like different denominations.
Okay.
Different.
They're getting their fucking songs on though. They're loud as shit.
Shit,
Coming out of
yeah.
those places. Singing. But sometimes like Friday night will be packed to the gills. Everybody dressed to the nines. But then also there'll be that weird Wednesday night service where there's sometimes there are two pastors or preachers or something. And they're reading from the Bible. They're doing the thing. Yeah. Everything's empty. Like nobody in there at all. Maybe one old lady.
Huh. Sure.
Yeah. They got to do it though.
This is the service.
Yeah. It's all or nothing. Like overflowing tacos on the sidewalk, or there's like nobody there. So.
Bombcast@giantbomb.com. That was it for emails.
Have any religious questions?
Yes.
Straight to me. Send me a PM on the site.
Rory at
Rory. Somebody name on. You can send me a PM.
Yeah,
do the private message.
Yes. He can be your spiritual guide.
I can guide you.
Yeah.
Where the best taco trucks are at.
Yeah. I mean, that is religious experience.
Yeah, it can be.
To find the right taco truck. All right. What do we got going on this week? I don't know. Stuff?
Yeah, there's still not a ton of new releases coming out, but
we got some ideas kicking around.
Yeah, we got some.
I know East got a couple streams on.
Yep.
We've been talking about some stuff.
Still doing some maintenance on hardware and stuff in the studio, but
this turns out to be a good time.
The firmware for the Pearl ever hit?
Yeah. That was a big deal.
Cool.
Yeah, we thought we might have to get rid of the Pearl. There was a lot of buffering and stuff in a lot of the videos. Anything that we stream, like this video right now, is going directly through the Pearl, and the recordings we use those. That's been something we've been trying to track down for months.
You're not talking about buffering on the video player for people.
Yeah, I am actually.
Oh, really?
But it looks like buffering to them.
Not actual buffering.
Yeah, it's not actually buffering, but it looks like it. Like it'll skip frames every now and
Okay.
again.
You're not talking about like pausing.
No.
Then okay.
No, that's
different.
So that's something that's out of our hands.
Yeah. So while we're here, I did talk about our engineering team being really up on that, and by and far, by
this
large,
is like a bad. You're like I was about to, but fuck. Like
you remember the video player like 4 years ago? It was terrible. It's a lot better now, but a lot of people still have buffering issues. Yeah. A lot of that's related to Akamai, and while I'm here, I'll say like Akamai or CDN. Our files are huge. They're massive. They're like multi gigs, and the way a CDN works is that it mirrors hot content all around the world, so it's close to you when you're trying to watch it. Our files are not, they're very big, and we're not as big as like, hey, CBS.com. So they're not always mirrored as much. And if you're really far away from where our content is hosted, it cannot be the best. It's not the video player. It's the connection to Akamai. And that's one of the most frustrating things for us to diagnose. Will has been a lot better. He's installing the dashboards so he knows when people are buffering or having looping issues. And
it sounds like there's a project in the works to maybe work on some of that stuff and alleviate it.
It's been
or work around the issues that are out of our hands to try to solve them.
Yeah,
I guess,
so a lot of stuff is very much bigger with CBS, has to deal with it, and we're a small cog in a big wheel. That doesn't work at all. But if you complain about video buffering issues, we definitely hear it. I feel really bad about it. It's not always something that it's almost never the video player doing anything. It's almost always going to be a connection between you and Akamai, and that's the hardest thing to do because Akamai is a very big company.
That said, if you're watching this and you run some other CDN, don't take this as an opportunity to send me cold emails about like, hey, we run a CDN, because I don't know if that's just like a January thing, like New Year, but I've been getting cold emails out the ass about hey, do you want to put more ad units on your site? Like, I am A, not the right person to email about that. B, fucking no.
Don't want to add to your misery there, but one of the solutions might be to actually start using something other than Akamai, and it's a big scary thing, and it's going to take a little time, but all I want to say while I'm here and I have my platform to talk about tech stuff, if you have problems with the video player, again, bug reporting forum is great. A lot of stuff is tough to work on, but we are aware of it, and hopefully it's something that we can actually do something about. It's not going to be something that happens days or weeks. It'll probably be months, but again, use the download button if you have to.
What's the best way to communicate that stuff, though? Because I get tons of PMs that I can't.
It's not. I mean, it's PMs. Bug reporting forum is always great. There's a sticky thread for video problems. If you want to make a new thread, if you think it's not addressed there, feel free to do that too. I definitely read them all, and I try to forward that stuff on engineers. Bug reporting forum is really, really recommend anything that you. Support at giantbomb.com is best for. I can't log in. I have a very specific
account stuff
or payment stuff. Definitely do that there. Don't do that on bug reporting. But bug reporting for any kind of search, probably like the search I just wanted. There's a thread for that.
Service related issues.
Service related stuff not showing up. If you can actually post on the bug reporting forum, that's usually the best way to go. But
it's a direct line to the engineers.
The engineers are on there too. Support at Giant Bomb if you have anything private that you don't want to share that publicly. definitely the best way to do it. So I read them both, and I try my best to respond.
I am super excited for the wiki stuff.
Yeah, that's going to be a big. There's going to be a lot of changes.
One of the next things that's coming down here.
That'll be on Comic Vine first. There'll be a beta over on Comic Vine. So if you're a big wiki editor, we'll probably post a link in the bug reporting forums too. That's where I post a lot.
Or if you were a big wiki editor who has found it suddenly hard to edit the wiki over the last chunk of time here.
Well, the search stuff hopefully will help a lot of that. Because the search stuff is definitely going to help finding games in the wiki. When you're trying to link stuff around, the popularity stuff is way better than it used to be. So, but yes, pretty soon I know the wiki stuff within a month or two will be up in a beta on Comic Vine, and then that'll eventually make its way over to us. It'll be a big. The wiki is really complicated. Like holy shit, it's a very complicated piece of technology, and
cool piece of technology.
It's gonna be a whole new day here at GameSpot.
A lot of moving parts.
Sorry.
Oh, we're rebranding also.
Videogames.com coming at you.
They said that like giantbomb.com would be like, it's just, what happens if there's a catastrophe, God forbid, all this other stuff. And, that's why we have nuke.com, thankfully.
Oof, good.
What?
All right. Thanks for listening, everybody. We'll have some more stuff going on this week, and we'll be back here with another edition of this podcast, same time next week.